Oh, ho, 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 ho. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Did you enjoy the DMs I forwarded you? Destiny, Traceless 1. I don't even know on what platform you're talking about, my dude. Hold on. Hello, please turn on. 30-minute Hassan segment about you. 30 minutes? What?
This dovetails into the conversation.
Hold on. Yes. Dovetails. I feel like he's been using that word a lot recently. Am I crazy?
That this account that I actually like and interact with quite a bit, put forth. And apparently, this is how libs need to think about Grant Platner. It says this account, it's Sexpestiny, it's Epstiny.
If
this
I
is
was
what he
in
said.
Maine and it's Platner and a Republican. Wait, what?
So many people do it. I mean, this dovetails into the conversation that this account that I actually like and interact with quite a bit, put forth. And apparently, this is how libs need to think about Grant Platner. It says this account, it's Sexpestiny, it's Epstiny.
If
this
I
is
was
what he
in
said.
Maine, what he gives me two nicknames at once now. I'm getting the double nicknames. Okay. And it's Platner and a Republican on the ballot. As long as there is breath in my body, hand can grip a pen and can mark a ballot, I'm voting for the blue guy. Platner would get the vote. But do not expect me to come out here and simp for him or actively defend him when he is in bed.
Oh no, what will we do? What will Mainers do, guys? Epstiny, the guy who is currently in a court case for distributing revenge porn
to a minor
in exchange for child sexual abuse material.
Jesus Christ.
Is that has written an N-word manifesto, and his right to be able to say the N-word has decided.
How much of that was about any of my political beliefs or anything of substance at all? Hassan was talking about you right now? Again? No way. What?
Fire on Israel as well.
Shut up. These stupid fucking suits.
The more this Bidenist idea of it,
Jesus.
that he's not going to defend Grant Platner. Okay. Well, I'm glad that he at least says he's going to vote blue no matter who. At least he's got that principle down. That's good.
With all of the worst fucking people on the planet with these tanky commie loser fucks. For all I know, this guy could be Fetterman 2.0. Unfortunately, somebody that Hassan adamantly supported, by the way. All of these ML tanky types adamantly supported Fetterman. He can pretend like he doesn't do it now. I don't know if anybody has the links to it, but they love Fetterman.
Why does he hate John Fetterman?
Oh. Does he still like Fetterman?
Isn't John Fetterman literally everything that he likes?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's speaking to some weird fabricated version of me now because for Hassan, he doesn't do actual politics. It's like, it's going to come down to fucking Israel or some retarded shit because this guy doesn't even do politics. Ah, so boring.
John Fetterman and Epstiny have the same level of admiration and support for the nation state of Israel.
It's so crazy that the foreign paid Turkish guy over here is even allowed to have an opinion on my country's politics. Holy shit, it's actually so insane to me, but whatever.
Yeah, John Fetterman became aligned with Epstiny. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet there was probably instances initially when John Fetterman was making that pro-Israel pivot, where Epstein, he probably defended him. I'm sure there's clips of it out there, because why wouldn't he? He was dick-sucking Israel super hard, just like Fetterman was.
Even Fetterman is preferable to a Republican, but I don't expect anybody to be happy about it. It's so funny because you talk to these stupid f***ing lefty commie f***s, okay? And you're like, did you guys ever support Kamala? And they're like, yeah, go back and look. And every single video is like, well, Trump is bad, 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 Trump is bad. Would the Democrat be better? Maybe.
Hassan said no.
Multiple times. Yeah, the messaging was mixed at best. But now, all of the commies seem to understand, hold on, it's not enough to just say that I guess you'd support Platner. You need to be excited about it. You got to be enthusiastic. Like, none of this stuff matters.
I don't really care about that at all.
Okay.
This is a complete straw man. I don't give a fuck if he doesn't. I mean, if he comes out against Grant Platner, then that's a violation of any principles that he may have tried to maintain. But outside of that, I don't give a fuck. What is this? He literally didn't know who Susan Collins was.
What is this? Oh, he literally has. Oh, isn't he the guy? 123 likes, 1 retweet, 19 replies. Ogre Boy 67. The guy who has a tattoo of Hassan and his dog on his leg. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. Motherfuckers would support. Is Susan Collins actually that bad? I don't even know. But everybody in my subreddit hates her.
She's a Republican, but like she does sometimes.
I don't know fuck all about, man. I'm gonna be honest about that. Never mind. Don't care. I didn't even know that. I'm retarded. Never mind. I didn't know. She's a Republican. Fuck her.
This guy's a political commentator and he doesn't know who the fuck Susan Collins is. Susan, I'm concerned Collins. It's
so crazy that Hassan is so happy to take like a whatever he can from my stream to try to like lil bro me, but he's fucking terrified of a conversation. It's always like the most obvious virtue signal or the most obvious like weak signaling is like, oh, this guy's so dumb, like he can't possibly know anything. This guy calls himself a political commentator. Oh, and then like the second I get unbanned, he's like, bruh.
I'm concerned Collins. Susan, I'm the most moderate Trump critic Collins. How the fuck do you not even know the most basic shit?
Oh, somebody said Hassan pretends that Fetterman is average centrist Democrat. That's why he's drawing parallels to you and him. Oh, okay. I don't even know that.
That's insane. He just openly is like, I don't know who the fuck Susan Collins is. Am I crazy? I feel like Susan Collins is like the fake Joe Manchin of the Republicans. She's famous for that reason. She's famous for constantly being like, oh, I'm concerned about what Trump is doing, and then going along with Trump's agenda 98% of the way.
That's literally the exact opposite of why people didn't like Manchin or Sinema. It was because that they wouldn't always go along with the Democrats, and they were like the most pivotal swing votes in the fucking Senate. I think people just hated Collins and the Alaskan one. Apparently I mixed these two up. Because the people will do the I'm concerned, but then they just vote along with Trump. I don't know how that's comparable to Manchin or Sinema, but okay.
She's not like some random person, you know what I mean? It's not like knowing about Angus King, okay? Susan Collins is a known entity. Fetterman's the wrong type of centrist for these guys because he doesn't play ball. Someone like Jared Golden is right of the party too, but plays ball in the big bills for the most part. Oh, they're party men at the end of the day. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Jared Golden is a great example. You're right.
That she's an amoral demon. Wait, who's the other person in this race?
It's just Platner and I think Kurt.
Wait, who's the other Democrat?
Mills dropped, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Mills. I don't think Mills, especially when not.
They hate me for speaking the truth. Oh, Muse. Yeah, you've been popping off. Our mainer lobster head, HamasAbi head, in the chat.
He's trying to attack the narrative that Destiny doesn't do more research than him. Yeah, so it's like whatever the Clippers can find about me misidentifying a country on a map or not recognizing a person or whatever is like the desperate owns that he has to try to salvage, I guess. Yeah.
Our mainer lobster head, Muse PWT. Another lobster head, actual lobster head. His Reddit was glazing Fetterman whenever he shows his support for Israel. Based. Fetterman's a treasure. Based. Fetterman is the hero America needs. That's what I mean. Like, these guys have no fucking principles. They just like became pro-Israel because...
Who's making these albums for him? Wait, what?
Another lobster head, actual lobster head. His Reddit was glazing Fetterman whenever he shows his support for Israel.
Based. Fetterman is a treasure. 2 years ago? Holy shit, what the fuck even is this fucking post? I wonder if I can find this. Oh my god. Well.
We made it to the big times, man.
What's the big times?
We're on a Solon stream, dude.
Oh, true. Okay, posts. 2 years ago. Okay, this was November 2nd, 2024. It's
What is this about?
I don't even know. So Israel kills one of Hamas's last remaining senior leaders in Gaza. Fetterman tweets out cancel culture. Okay. This post has 35 upvotes and 7 comments. Okay. I guess we love Fetterman over here. And then this one is Obama 444.
Sorry.
What?
You said Obama.
True. Posts 2 years ago. Fetterman is the hero. Where is it? Jesus Christ. Fetterman is the hero America needs. What the fuck is this? Was that Fetterman up there? This has 7 comments, 118 upvotes. And still 2 years ago. Did we even hate Fetterman 2 years ago? I don't remember if Fetterman was like fucking everything up 2 years ago.
How long's he been in office? Like 4 years now?
I don't remember.
Coming up on that?
But I thought it was him
Then 2
aligning
years
with a
ago,
whole bunch of
probably
like
not.
Trump shit and then making the rounds on Fox. This is pre-stroke. Oh.
Yeah, well, when was his stroke? That's a good indicator of when people started hating him.
Based. Fetterman's a treasure. Based. Fetterman is the hero America needs. That's what I mean. Like, these guys have no fucking principles. They just like became pro-Israel because he's pro-Israel. Also, one of the funniest things.
Except we're not even close to pro-Fetterman. There are a bunch of other issues in the United States besides Israel-Palestine to other people that actually care about politics, but okay.
That people fucking claim about Graham Platner is that, and it immediately shows that your analysis is exclusive to the internet.
I hate this word. I just hate that he gets away with so many. Is all of politics just like trying to find yourself in rooms with a bunch of softballs? Is that it over and over again? Like, I feel like these people are all the kind of people who would create Smurf accounts over and over again because they're like ladder heroes that can't even break the top rank or whatever. So they just have to Smurf over and over again because they know that if they have to actually contend with anything, they would get fucking obliterated. Like, it's crazy that he just gets away with so much and nobody is like researched enough to call him out on anything.
Did you watch
this new term that he uses over and over again? No one has done the analysis. Bro, you don't analyze anything. You bring up a ton of tweets, you read them verbatim, and then you move on to the next thing while giving the ordinary ML slop opinion about it. Like, that's it. What were you saying?
I was going to ask, did you watch the Platner interview with the New York Times?
How old is it?
I think 3 weeks?
Then no.
It's
Okay.
Pretty,
I'm not going to play this video yet.
Pretty good.
But I saw, I think it was Hosborough Points that was also saying like, oh, the internet made Graham Platner. The left is the reason why Graham Platner is a thing. None of you guys know anything about elections if you
Oh my God.
are making such an unbelievably stupid assessment.
This is the new talking point that all the lefties have been spreading, that you'll hear this from every lefty person, ML person, is that Maine is actually not mainly young leftist people. It's actually a bunch of older people, and the electorate of Maine is nothing like what people online are saying. So therefore, it's totally improper to say that lefties are loving or something bullshit like this. Yeah. Also, I don't know how this is a Hasbro talking point, but okay.
Okay, your brain has been poisoned by what you see on Twitter. Your brain has been poisoned by what you see on Reddit. Your brain has been poisoned by the communities that you spend a good deal of time in, where they constantly talk about these idiotic narratives. That's why it's also funny, because when he was like, oh, it's these fucking commie tanky bullshit that like support Graham Platner. The people that this sex pest would consider commie tanky motherfuckers actually hate Graham Platner. Okay?
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, Graham Platner's base of support is not the youth vote. Okay?
I've never said this ever. You cannot win elections with online tanky support. We saw that when every single person that Hasan supported in California got fucking trounced. So we already know that that's the case. But that doesn't make their impact or the footprint they leave in the online media sphere any less fucking annoying. And online, it is absolutely all of the weird, sloppulous, tanky fucks that are obsessed with buoying this guy's story in any way possible.
Graham Platner's biggest supporters are not the young voters of Maine. I'm sure there are plenty of young voters in Maine that will vote for him, but you're out of your fucking mind. Maine, the average voter age in Maine is, I believe, 48 years old. Okay? It's all old white people. These are ride or die Democrats and independents that are sick and tired of Donald Trump molesting the fucking money. Okay? And they're also very frustrated with the Democratic Party's bullshit centrism. The olds, the
I think Hasan came to understand attacking you like this is better than the Voldemort approach he took before. I don't know how much is like me recognizing how the media stuff works, or how much is other people like all kind of discovering it and then like doing it in real time. I'm not sure. But I mean, Hasan has had a policy of attacking me or not attacking me. Like, he would attack me before, but he just wouldn't say my name. But he might feel safer now because he feels like he has other people that will back him up. There's probably a piece of time where Hasan felt a little bit lost because his ecosystem that he was trying to create was Twitch. And then especially once the sponsorship stuff started to happen and Twitch started to get pressure because of the insane shit this guy says on their platform, well, he's radicalizing young children and everything, and Twitch and Dan Clancy all stand by and they champion this or whatever, he probably felt a little bit isolated and then was a little bit more scared of taking on fights. But now that he's kind of gotten in more with the online mainstream lefty tanky people, maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable. I don't know, it's hard to say.
whites, the old whites, are frustrated. And I've been saying this for months. Actually, not even for months. I've been saying this for the last 2 years, as a matter of fact. If you recall, I always repeat to all of you, I'm like, I go around the country, I go to these fucking protests, I go to the No Kings rallies. What do I see? I see old white people that aren't just saying, we want more centrism. Old white people that are saying Bernie was right and we were wrong for saying Bernie was wrong. Yeah.
Something I always find frustrating is Hasan likes to say he is fighting fascism, but still, after everything this admin did, he still said he would vote third party if Newsom was a candidate in 2028. Because when they say fighting fascism to him means fighting the libs, all libs. So the Democrats and the Republicans, anybody that's not a socialist is a fascist to these people. That's not a joke. That's how they view it.
Nothing has changed in the last year. Old liberal voters just want fighters because they're too pissed at Trump, and Platner's a fighter who calls them fascists. People who characterize him as left or DSA are fundamentally misunderstanding his appeal. Absolutely. Let's look at Graham Platner's commie tanky base now. Does this look like a DSA meeting? Maybe DSA pre-2016, certainly, but there wouldn't be this many people in one room for the DSA before 2016 anyway. But does this look like a Democratic Socialists of America meeting? Do you think this is the fucking campus caucus? These are people who were around when motherfucking Karl Marx was around. The fuck are you talking about? The DSA tankies. You only arrive at this conclusion if your brain is fucking rotted from the shit that you see on the internet. Stop believing these fucking dickheads, okay? They are always going to lead you astray. This is pure personal vendetta masquerading as real political analysis. And there are so many fucking idiots out there who believe it. They go along with it because it's much easier to keep up with drama. It's much easier to present people as villains on the internet and then just focus on the fucking dumb, nonsensical drama.
Like calling me sex pest, Epstein, court case, child rapist over and over and over and over and over again. Great, true. It is crazy to me that so much of his audience doesn't see that, I guess. I don't know.
Hassan has done this again. Hassan has done that again.
He said the average voting age in Maine was like 4, 45 or whatever. That's also the median age in population. It tracks also for California. California's like average voting age is like 37 to 38, and the median age there is 38 to 39. So I don't know.
Sure. Or what about it?
He's just pointing at a room full of like older people and being like, "See,
no, he's attacking a straw man." So I complain a lot that online the lefties suck off Platner forever, and it's so fucking annoying to see these guys running around, tone policing everybody. It's like vote blue no matter who, vote blue. They'll never do it. But remember, the enemy always likes to attack you with your own values, while they have none, or they do have values, but they're obscured from you, and they're much more insidious than they're public about. But it's annoying seeing all these fucking retards and then the useful idiots like Soy Pill or whatever running around like doing this like, oh, you got to vote blue no matter who, guys. We got to support them, even though we're still in the fucking primary. So that's the thing that I think is annoying. But that opinion is like mutated, or they try to mutate it into Destiny thinks the only people that support Platner are hardcore tankies and youth voters. But obviously that's not true. No election is going to be won that way. I don't know if you can even survive any primaries that way. But so he's just attacking that straw man of like, well, look, no, the people in Maine who support Platner are actually like median voters. It's like, yeah, of course, obviously. No shit.
Fucking hate Hasan. So I believe Hasan. Now they're telling me Hasan is actually promoting Graham Platner and he loves Graham Platner and he personally hand-selected Graham fucking Platner. And therefore I hate him too. He's a bad guy. Where did you arrive at this conclusion? Yeah, I feel like this whole Platner situation could have been avoided if a bunch of upper middle class leftists hadn't seen the most obvious red flags imaginable and thought that's just a rough, salty Ohio Waffle House type working class people are like. I blame the New York Times. They taught people to see stuff like, for example, a third Waffen has a Panzer Division Totenkopf and think, now there's a man with economic anxiety. What a stupid fucking assessment. It was Maine Democrats that fucking looked at Graham Platner and were like, yeah, this guy speaks to the problems that I'm experiencing.
Remember, when they vote for who we like, that's the voters like speaking out, and that's the real voter voice being heard. But all across California, where they rejected Hasan's candidates, they're homofascists. But okay,
this guy speaks to the problems that my younger, my children, and my grandchildren are experiencing because they're old as fuck for the most part. So I find it so strange, but also very fucking revealing.
More analysis.
I find it very revealing when these guys say stuff like this. It basically shows that their whole perspective, their whole worldview.
Here comes the projection. What do? Anybody but a lib. And now he's going to say, well, what do the libs do? Anybody but socialists. Or anybody but the far left.
Their entire understanding of American politics revolves around their animosity that they've developed against certain content creators. This is no way to do politics. Okay, and Ta-Nehisi quote says, again, like I said, an account that I've interacted with a lot. And
I guess that's how all the Californians voted, because they hated Hasan personally? I don't know.
And I think is very smart, says, something Destiny and Fuentes have in common is obsessive focus on other streamers. Hasan this, Nico that. Their lives are consumed with petty betrayals, rivalries, and never-ending psychosexual dramas. I am less bullish than I used to be on streamers as political organizers. I liked it. And he said, you too, Hasan. I said, huge problem.
By the way, Hasan liked that tweet when it had 4 likes. Maybe less, because they grouped these. Hasan and 4 others liked your post. Jesus Christ.
Ending psychosexual dramas. I am less bullish than I used to be on streamers as political organizers. I liked it. And he said, you too, Hasan. I said, huge problem in my sphere. I try to do my best to stay out of it. Although a massive chunk of people online actually only follow politics through watching slop by narcissists advancing their personal vendettas that they claim is making a political difference. A point that I've brought up over and over again, constantly, nonstop. Yeah. Again, Ed Germentum is right. The thing that got him in this position wasn't upper middle class leftists. It was the overwhelming majority of Maine Democrats who preferred him over the incumbent governor. That's the fulcrum of power you need to focus on if you want to understand this. Ta-Nehisi says, I'm sure the average streamer's financial and psychological incentives are at odds with their political incentives. To the degree that you do stay out of the slop, I assume this is why you've ended up at rallies for major candidates and others haven't. Which, by the way, I disagree with the last assessment here, because he almost presents it as arriving at political rallies for major candidates as a fucking good thing for me, as though this is a prize that I've been able to win.
Oh my God. No. Hasan's actually doing such a favor for everybody else. He's like, I mean, he's the only reason that Mamdani won, for instance. You know that, right? Yeah.
That's his boy.
Okay. Which, I didn't make much of a stink about, but I also don't fully agree with.
He's going to claim
right?
a duel next too, right?
If he wins, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that assessment. It's not a prize for me that I've worked hard for, okay? It's, if anything, it's a prize for them for actually abiding by the interests of the masses. So,
all right, what's up, buddy?
I just wanted to say about this Platner guy. I obviously didn't follow that shit, it's local American stuff. But listen, the amount of lefties on Twitter who are like, who cares about his Nazi tattoo, are the same people who was saying that my country should not be supported because some fucking soldier was with some suspicious patch.
Yep.
In 22.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Excuse me? Literally the same people. I even checked their 22 tweets about Ukraine, so I'm not, mistaken in any way. And it's the same people, exact same people who were like, have you seen this patch? And it's some random ass patch, not even a proper, anything. Or not even a tattoo, because patch is one thing, tattoo is a completely, it's a little bit more dedication, let's put it that way, right? And they're like, yeah, and I think there was this reveal that I think he lied that he didn't knew this guy, right? Or something like that. What that meant.
Yeah. After saying he was a fan of and everything. Yeah, that's just how it goes. That's what they do. That's how they do.
fuck? And they're like, I don't care. Like, this guy's based, who cares about silly things like tattoos? Be for real. And I'm like, fucking hell. Yeah, that's kind of like all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Fun times. Well, stay safe, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Let's just make that very clear. I said I have a community centered around advancing political goals as opposed to mass harassment of my internet enemies. That's my focus, and that's the reason why politicians reach out and try to win over my community. That's why candidates ask for my attendance at their rallies. I don't ask candidates to do rallies or to be a part of the rallies. They ask me to go to their rallies.
Oh my God.
Important.
Wow.
Reply to this gives the game away. What is this? Does Hassan have zero agency, any culpability for his own immaturity? You're infantilizing 30-plus-year-old like he's beyond consequences for his own stupidity. What is this? I hold a mirror up and none of you... What is this? Lamau. The world is so much better when algos stop feeding politics slop to everyone so these unserious people can go back to watching Joe Rogan all day. I like that he calls me unserious. I hold a mirror up to you all and none of you
Insanely unserious.
like what you see. I have no problem with the amount of research I put into debating any of this position. People like Hassan spend zero time doing any research. Why are you defending yourself in the claim that you limit your influence by focusing too much on streamer drama by saying that Hassan does less research than you? I know he does less research than you, but it has nothing to do with the claim I made. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey, never mind. I take back everything I said about this guy. I do less research than Destiny.
Uh-oh.
Dude, I swear to God, for like, there's definitely a particular brand of autism that is so unbelievably appealing to every poster on the internet where they go, no, he's reading Wikipedia articles to fucking, to develop talking points that he can have like good, solid gotchas on the internet on.
It doesn't even make sense. Like, it's so retarded.
And that's it. That's the extent of his research. Most of his stream is just fucking rewatching videos of mine, which
Yeah, okay.
includes probably this one because I just brought him up. So I'm sure he'll take a tremendous amounts of pleasure off of that.
I am pleasuring myself off of
I
it.
swear to God, these guys genuinely think he's like fucking a god at debating.
I wonder why.
If he's doing so much research, why is he always wrong?
If I'm always wrong, why? So, like, go back to the Finkelstein debate where this guy, they've tried to, like, mindfuck all of their audience, and I think I got crushed in that debate. It was one thing I was incorrect about. And it's like, well, did you see the part where he mispronounced your name for the 47th time?
Mr. Borelli.
How much research did he deploy with his, I guess his political instincts are really bad then? Because how much research was he fucking deploying when he said Joe Biden shouldn't drop out? As a matter of fact, he debated that position on Jubilee, literally, and by the time the fucking video...
I don't even remember this. I'm pretty sure I was always in the middle on this, arguing with Pisco and Jank. I guess it depends on which debate you saw. But did I have an argument on Jubilee over Biden dropping out? Was that... I don't even know if that was a Jubilee thing. But I mean, also, I like how he's trying to present this as like a counterfactual that I'd be wrong on, when technically I could say that my counterfactual is stronger than the reality that happened because Harris actually lost. I could say, well, yeah, Biden shouldn't have dropped out. He beat Trump last time. I think voters would have just voted for him again. I mean, like, I could just say that, right? Okay.
came out, Joe Biden had dropped out. How much research did he deploy when deciding to take the opposite stance of mine on the Israel issue and spent 2.5 fucking years, 3 years defending Israel's genocide with increasingly more unhinged takes, where he got ritualistically humiliated by Norm Finkelstein? Because
in what was one wrong thing? Again, it's just all so, God, fuck, it's all so boring, dude.
Because Norm Finkelstein actually knows the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah. But that's why that's why the only solid facts that me and Norm had like big disagreements on were ones that I was actually so correct about. Not only was it obvious that Finkelstein hadn't even read the case that South Africa had submitted, which you would think would be the bare minimum, but the head prosecutor for the International Court of Justice even came out and said that most people were misinterpreting what was it, like plausible rights. It was plausible that like the rights of the Palestinians had been infringed upon by Israel or whatever, but that the plausibility standard just it was basically a standing question, not like ruling on the merits of the case or whatever. I don't know. Do you think Hassan actually believes what he's saying right now? No, but remember, the goal is not to be correct. The goal is to just like give the marching orders. When Hassan is speaking, it's the same thing as Trump speaking. So like I'm getting upset and annoyed right now because it has the veneer of intellectualism. At least Trump, I'm trying to think. Does Trump pretend to be an intellectual? I don't know. I guess his fans kind of pretend it is.
He does with his IQ.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh no.
my
Yeah, it
God,
does.
his
Yeah.
IQ.
So it's the same shit, right? Like they're lying, but they know they're lying, and it's all about the lie, and then it's all about just having your protected audience. That Hasan also gets protected via Twitch. Thank God for that. And then he just sells the same lie over and over and over and over and over again, so that Diddy Piker, who was watching child porn with Will Neff, never has to actually confront a critical idea or somebody who could push him on anything because he's on his little protected platform with his protected space, giving all of his marching orders out to his fan base.
How much research is he deploying when he goes, I don't know who Susan Collins is, while talking about Graham Platner? Because I'm forced to respond to drama claims when other people are making them if it's not constantly laundering Kiwi farms and snarker. What is a snarker opinion? What is this? What is this motherfucker talking about me to his audience? And then if they carry those opinions to other parts of the internet, I have to respond and deal with them. The entire online political space has been destroyed by low information, ideologically motivated politics streamers who waste everyone's time.
I'm surprised he's reading my whole comment, though. Jeez. It's sophistry? I don't know if I would call it sophistry. I feel like sophistry is when you are... It's like a bad faith engagement with philosophical argument, kind of. Like, he's doing propaganda. Like, would you consider propaganda to be sophistry? I don't think I would. I think it's a different thing. I'm vibing that, but...
Maybe this is just the swamp you swim in and there's no getting out. Seems unlikely to me. There are lots of YouTube political commentators who are involved in essentially zero personal drama, but supposing it for argument's sake. But if so, then I'm still right that it puts a ceiling on your political influence. Yeah, this guy, I like this guy's opinions. I thought he was intelligent, but he genuinely thinks that, Destiny's a fucking intellectual giant. So it has actually tarnished my opinion of him a little bit.
A little bit.
I'll be honest.
But that's nice. This is also like the Trump thing, right? Where you reward the people that are loyal to you. Oh, I like this guy's Twitter account. You punish the people that are mean to you. Oh, you're fake news. You're not real. You're a nasty person. My opinion of you is tarnished. So that hopefully this guy gets the message.
Yikes. Guy who fucking spends every waking moment sticking his dick into anything and everything he can and then ruining his own life. And then immediately, are you serious about Dino?
So much political analysis here. Very, very, very good political analysis. Nice.
He's attacked all of your points.
Yeah, true.
Not doing more research? He reads more documents and sources that are official than you. That is just true, isn't it? No, dude. It is just a fucking... No. It is absolutely fucking propaganda. What are you talking about? That man has never read a fucking book cover to cover. What are you talking about? Oh my God, this is what I mean. All you need to do
it doesn't matter.
is have tremendous confidence and the right level of autism so you can just be like, I'm the most intelligent person. He has. Okay. If he reads so much, why is he always wrong? A great question for you guys. If he reads so much, why is he always wrong? So either he's, reading a tremendous amount and then arriving at the wrong conclusion because he's a fucking idiot, or he's not reading at all and he just goes on stream and reads a couple primary documents and then you think, oh my God, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. One of the best examples of this is the Israel-Palestine conversation, because I've had these opinions on the conflict born out of all of the materials that I've read on it for years before I even decided to fucking become a political commentator.
So I don't know fuck all about Maine's politics, and I don't pretend to know about Maine's politics. So I don't follow that much domestic electoral stuff. I got my own shit going on sometimes. And there's just other stuff that interests me. I never pretend otherwise, though. Hasan will make this claim over and over again that he studied Israel-Palestine for decades. He knows blah, 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 but didn't know one of probably the single most debated holy site in the entirety of the
wall,
the Jewish-Arab conflict. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just not possible. That's impossible. You couldn't have read anything or known anything. You couldn't have gone over any of the negotiations, because in the negotiations, generally holy sites are part of what's being debated. It was at Camp David. It was at Taba. I want to say Tabarossa, but I feel like that's the name of the fucking thing, and whatever that city is to the south, and that they try to do after the clip parameters. You would know that, like, the division of, like, East Jerusalem from, I don't know if they ever call it West Jerusalem. I always hear Jerusalem and Eastern Jerusalem, the old city, is divided in part along the wall. It's impossible to not know that. That's not possible. Okay, but no, there was a name for the talks that happened after Camp David failed. The Clinton team put out a set of parameters, and there was a summit afterwards at Taba. It was Taba Summit. I just don't know how you can't know. Well, I know how you can't know this, because you haven't actually read or studied anything in depth. Which also, by the way, I don't even care that much about it if you don't know it. That's fine. Like, bro, there's a ton of shit that I don't know. But when you sit here and you market yourself as like an expert on all these Middle Eastern things over and over and over again, and he says he learned all this a decade ago, and it's like, homie, we watched you do fucking the map quiz in 2019 or whatever when you were mixing up your home country of Turkey with like India. Like, what?
There's no way he did that, right?
Yes. Link it.
That's crazy. That's his fucking country, man.
The fucking
first news story.
map
Sarah
meme.
Huckabee Sanders visits the Western Wall.
Literally, this is the one thing about Judaism that I do not know. Like, I mean,
I just can't. I don't know how this is even possible. Like, even if you don't know, here's what I don't understand is because even if you don't research the history or anything, you would still hear memes about the wall.
I've learned deep lore on this broadcast about Sakal.
How, like, what deep lore have you learned to not know?
About the citrus, about the stick and the tent. It's just a holy wall. I don't know. Wait, what the fuck? You don't know either?
Wait, am I retarded? Isn't the Western Wall, isn't this supposed... Why are you acting like you don't know, you fucking retard? Was just all the... Yeah, good.
You don't know
He's
either?
reading Wikipedia, by the way.
It's just a holy wall. I don't know. Wait, what the fuck? You don't know either? How do you not know? You're Jewish. Why do Christians go there and like cry and stuff? I'm gonna be real. It's not much. It's the outside wall of the second temple.
How do you just say that casually? Oh my God. It's all good. How could you not know that? Shut up. Wait, what? Fake
This is the Temple Mount, mega holy, great place to pray.
How has he been doing commentary on Israel Palestine
For
so long that he
years.
doesn't know about the Western Wall?
It's like one of the most... It's literally impossible, but whatever. Again, I don't expect everybody to know everything. But when you're sitting here saying, I'm an expert, I've been an expert for years, for over a decade on this. Like, how, bruh? Really?
Bruh.
Where is it?
No, that's Sweden. Is it Finland? No, that's Finland.
15 minutes, bro. We're not doing this whole thing.
Okay, dude. Yeah, I don't. Shut up. Okay. Nope, that was a failure. That was good. I think Kashmir. I don't know. It's no.
You know what I just realized too, actually? I feel like he was radicalized later in life, like over the past like few years, because you would know some of these if you had your standard ML anti-Western talking points. Like you would have to know that Pakistan borders India. You would have to know like about these like regional conflicts. You would have to, right?
No. No.
So he must have been
Got it.
radicalized like over the past couple of years, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea where the Philippines are, dude. I'm done. I can't do this. The first try. That was the first try. I don't know if you guys saw this. Okay.
Please be pretending. Please be pretending. Please be pretending.
No. Dude, where's...
Are you non?
Hey. Click.
Waited with a...
This any further. Done. I'm done, dude. I'm done. Okay? I'm done. I can't play this any further.
Keep in mind that he said he'd written articles before on what was going on in Yemen. And I think he had written one article, but I don't know if it was ghost written form or just like a standard, slop article, but...
I don't know which is which, dude. Close the cookies? Oh yeah, true. Doesn't know where Yemen is? Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think nope.
K from YouTube, thank you for the 15 tier 2 subbirds, buddy.
Nope. Got it. One of these. That's the Philippines. There you go. Hungary. I clicked. This is the spirit. I clicked.
There's one more of these. Just
Else, yeah, I'm done. Damn. Oh, it's probably one of these, right? God, I messed it up. I don't know.
Like,
isn't it like right here? Why isn't it telling me where it is? Click on Jordan. No.
Like, how can you not know where Jordan is?
Oh, isn't it like right here? Oh, click on Granada. Dude, I have no idea. Can't do it. See ya. Albania.
Fuck,
Oh
there's
my-
one more.
Earth, dude, just get it
There's
right.
one more
Making
memer
left,
one.
look, you can tell the type of you were in school. Yeah. What is it like? What is it like here?
Epic.
Good. Dragon on United Kingdom. There it is. Papua New Guinea. Come on, dude. That doesn't count. Slovenia. Oh, got it. Cyprus. Cyprus, guys, come on. The Federated States of Micronesia.
Micro dick, yeah.
These got to be consolidated, okay?
Okay.
Going forward is just React Andy all the way, okay?
Whatever. Anyway. Expert. For a decade. What? You can do it. Chrome.
Okay. There is a, decade of fucking information. Yemen is?
I think later on when this was brought up, he said he was just trolling the whole time.
Like Hassan, for example.
Doesn't know where Yemen is? Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think nope. Dude, I'm memeing. I'm fucking memeing. Nope. I'm fucking memeing. Got it. No, not only am I joking there, I'm gonna show you something, okay? Here. That's another Destiny clip, by the way. Classic, okay? Play this game. I suck. At Terra.com. I'm not gonna do it. Everyone's gonna make fun of me. Help you? Too. Oh no, everyone's gonna make fun of me if I do this. You have chat to help you. Do the 50 US states. I can't do that. I'll get owned. I'll get owned to oblivion. I have no idea where the states are. Click on Pakistan. Wait, how do I zoom in? How do I zoom in? Okay, which one is it? Is it this? Is it this or this? Is it this? I don't know which one it is. I have no idea. Oh no. I don't know. Is it this? Is it? I don't know.
Okay.
Information there that helped me arrive at the conclusions I arrived at on this issue. He didn't know anything, decided to lay his claim on one side of the fucking equation. Out of all of the materials that one of the best examples of this is the Israel-Palestine conversation, because I've had these opinions on the conflict born out of all of the materials that I've read on it for years before I even decided to fucking become a political commentator. Okay? There is a, decade of fucking information there that helped me arrive at the conclusions I arrived at on this issue.
A decade
he didn't know
of
anything,
information.
decided to lay his claim on one side of the fucking equation, which was different than his previous claims against Israel in like 2016, because now he's just purely spite driven. Okay. And then he started doing research on stream by trying to find evidence that would correspond to his worldview, that would defend his position on the internet. And he heavily relied on his audience to do so. This is how he operates all the fucking time.
Okay.
That is precisely the reason why his dumbass audience, okay? Look, we're all dumbasses. The only difference is I admit that I'm a dumbass, okay?
It's the amount of like projection and skinwalking is just so crazy to me. Just Jesus Christ, it's insane.
But all of our dumbass audiences collectively look at somebody demonstrating the capability of reading, okay, on stream and go, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant. None of them ask the question, why did he arrive at a conclusion without reading this information ahead of time? Because unfortunately, his audience is just as fucking stupid, or rather biased in that same exact direction. So they use him as a fucking vehicle to deliver this information to a broader audience. On the issue of Israel, there were plenty of Hasbarists that probably loved that there was a debate lord that was willing to entertain this otherwise unpopular position, this inhumane position that, you were going to be pro-Israel unconditionally.
Unconditionally.
That's it. So they just kept pumping information to him in real time as he engaged in post hoc rationalizations over and over again.
Does Hassan refuse to have a conversation with you? Yeah, of course. He's terrified. His whole world would fall apart. He knows that.
He's not even good at debating anymore. He recently got smoked in a debate by two 100 view slop tubers. Yeah.
He's talking about Morau and Aiden. Jesus Christ.
In any case,
I thought Rob Noor. Oh, are they talking about my debate with Rob Noor and Ryan Mullally? Oh, it could be that one. That'd be crazy if they had an opposite position on that, though.
why do you hold Ta-Nehisi Coates' opinion to a high regard? Hasn't he recently arrived at the anti-genocide position? Who's he to judge you, to be honest? Wait, what? No, this isn't actually Ta-Nehisi Coates. This is a...
What do you think an actual interaction would be like at this point? I mean, like, he would say something. I would get annoyed by how long he's taking to stay or to state the opinion, because he'd be trying to fit in as many buzzwords as possible. And then I would try to circle back, and then I would try to counter some fundamental thing that he probably got wrong, that he's built his whole opinion on. He would try to either deny it, or he would try to pivot a little bit, and then he would want to ramble again. I would start getting more frustrated at the fact that he's not answering any of my questions, and he's just rambling. And then eventually, I don't know, it would split from there, I guess. Obviously, it wouldn't be a good conversation, but...
Fucking, his name is Ta-Nehisi Quotes. It's a totally different account. No, Ta-Nehisi Quotes doesn't... the real Ta-Nehisi Quotes
No, the comment said Snarkers, he meant Ada.
doesn't know who the fuck Destiny is. Are you crazy? Anyway,
is that it? Are we done? Did we make it?
the point I'm making is that a lot of people look at this as a performance, okay? To be fair to this guy, I think he's just seen clips of you that D was watching or something, because he's seemingly only seen when you're talking about D, which is fucking rare. If his opinion of you is based entirely off of what the sex pest shows to his audience, that there's no wonder he thinks this.
What an idiot.
Unfortunately, I can
Thinking he'll accept that.
True.
attest to that. Yeah. Hassan is making massive impacts in multiple races all around the country. Just ask the best politicians in the country what they think of him. I don't really watch Hassan stuff, but when I have, it's mostly been him raging about sex pestiny or some such nonsense.
Oh shit, I didn't even see this one. Uh-oh. Oh no.
But that being said, you are right. He's become a live political player in a way that other big streamers haven't. Okay, maybe he actually has exclusively encountered clips of mine from... Yeah. Oh, this makes sense. Maybe. I'm not trying to be too definitive. I don't really like Hassan's politics. I'm much closer to the center, but I do notice that he's been involving himself in actual races, which is respectable to me. Yeah, maybe he's like a centrist, so he was a former Destiny fan or something who was just like frustrated that he constantly gets into sex pest shit. In my opinion, you got to remind people on the internet that you exist outside the stream. When you're not live, you read research, etc. Just because you're not pulling up random Wikipedia links on stream doesn't mean... Yeah, the other side of the story that I find...
Wait, is he pretending like, okay, guys, I gotta go offline now. I need to go read books? Like...
That's what he's pretending.
It has to be like so... Like, do you not feel embarrassed or humiliated lying like that about what you do? I don't know. That's crazy to me, I guess.
Former Destiny fan or something who was just like frustrated that he constantly gets into sex pest shit. In my opinion, you got to remind people on the internet that you exist outside the stream. When you're not live, you read research, etc. Just because you're not pulling up random Wikipedia links on stream doesn't mean... Yeah, the other side of the story that I find very frustrating is that I think a lot of people only watch clips of the stream, but they don't actually watch the YouTube videos, right? Because if you were to watch the YouTube videos, you would realize that all the data that I pull from my fucking brain corresponds to actual evidence that my editors will go and pull from the actual surveys.
What is he even trying to argue? Well, you watch my YouTube videos, my editors will plug the articles, so you know that I'm not wrong.
Like, I will reveal a lot of empirical evidence in the process of doing commentary, but usually I'm just pulling it from my mind. Some people just don't like the medium of streaming for politics. This guy seems to be like one of those people. Doesn't really matter. You can appeal to the people who do like it. Yeah, I'm not expecting this person to fucking be like a fan of streaming, like political streamers. I'm just... I do get frustrated when people make this assessment off of like choice clips that they see on the internet. And it's oftentimes people who feel like they're above that kind of thing. They feel they feel as though they're above being duped by, their Twitter algorithm. Okay? The reality of the matter is they are getting duped by their Twitter algorithm.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait. Why did my computer just...
Uh-oh.
No. Wait, my network. What the fuck? Hold on.
Seems like you're still live.
No, it's just this computer got weird for a sec. Wait, is it live again for you or in Discord?
Well, are you playing anything? Because it's paused.
And it's... I'm playing, yeah.
I hear it, but I don't see the screen.
Are you fucking serious,
I can just reopen
kid?
it.
Are you fucking serious, kid? Wait, no.
Are you full?
There you go.
Yep.
Actively defend him when he is...
Orders are not The young... What is this? Arrived at on this... He's become a live political player in a way that... He's become a live political player in a way that other big streamers haven't. Okay, maybe he actually has exclusively encountered... Much was a former Destiny fan or something who was just like frustrated that he constantly gets into sex pest shit. In my opinion, you gotta remind people on the internet that you exist outside the stream. When you're not live, you read research, etc. just because you're not... But they don't actually watch the YouTube video that my editors will go and pull from the actual... from my mind. Some people just don't like the medium of streaming for politics. This guy seems to be like one of those people. Doesn't really matter. You can appeal to the people who do like it. Yeah, I'm not expecting this person to fucking be like a fan of streaming, like political streamers. I'm just... I do get frustrated when people make...
What would be your motive to have a convo with Hasan? I assume his would be to discredit you, as he does with all the name calling, but I'm curious what the upside would be for you. Well, I mean, there's shallow upsides, like publicity or money. I mean, like I guess the larger upside would be that I think that our media environment is in a state of utter disrepair because people are too protected on their own platforms. People have kind of like massively mindfucked themselves and their audiences into believing that like, oh, debate is worthless and that's actually just for fast talkers, and actually the best way to do political dissemination is to just talk to your own audience and to preach to the choir over and over again every single day, and the only time we're ever going to attack the points of people we don't like is when our own clippers have specially prepared media for us to watch and then bash on our stream. And I think it's done an irreparable harm, not irreparable, it's doing massive harm, substantial harm to our political climate. So anytime these worlds collide, you get like people who have to contend with the ideas of the people that are ideologically opposed to them, I think there's a benefit there because it forces the other side, or I would say both sides, I guess, to be a little bit more realistic about what they're saying. But the longer you spend in your own little hermetically sealed bubble, the more detached from reality your opinions can become. And Hasan's are very, very, very detached from reality.
This assessment off of, like choice clips that they see on the internet. And it's oftentimes people who feel like they're above that kind of thing. They feel they feel as though they're above being duped by, their Twitter algorithm. Okay?
I don't think Hasan watches me. I don't think he has time. I do think he does have people that feed him stuff. I really don't like that he can hijack my ideas over and over and over again, though, and then pass them off as his own, because Dan Clancy and fucking Twitch are happy to keep me banned off this platform for extreme hate as Hasan gets banned from a country.
Grabbed?
Well, this one right now that he's doing, that I've kind of spoken a lot over the last month or so about how like you can't trust your mind, and people think that they can survive being thrown into some crazy algorithm, but you actually can, and it will put you in a whole different world very quickly, and people don't realize it. They think that they're like, they think that they can survive it. They're like, oh no, just show me everything, and I'll use my rational human mind to figure out what's true and what's not true. That's not the case at all. But this has been a big point I've been harping on now, and Hasan is like, he's skinwalking me now for this opinion. It's just very fucking annoying that he can pass it off as his own over and over again. Especially because Hasan is actively doing that. Like, he's trying to get people in their own algorithm. Like this doppelganging of an outfit of like being an intellectual. The like, what do all the intellectuals say? Well, I'm gonna slice off the thinnest top of that aesthetic and then wear it so that I can pretend to be the intellectual. Is just so fucking disgusting. I think it's
genuine
harmful.
question. What's to stop one of your YouTube editors from going through Hasan's VOD, seeing when he picks up your quote-unquote talking points, and then like showcasing like, oh, Steve was talking about this at X time, and then Hasan was talking about this like after this amount of time?
Well, it would just go to my audience, right?
You don't think that would be
Hasan's audience
you
doesn't
think
really.
that would be an interesting video for like YouTube of like?
I mean, it
hey,
could be
like,
if one of them
Hasan
wants to put in the
walked-
effort, but that sounds like it's a lot of
effort.
But no, it would be interesting. Yeah.
The reality of the matter is, they are getting duped by their Twitter algorithm. I thought you were joking when you said high IQ people aren't allowed to be cops, but your editor had a source ready when I rewatched you on YouTube.
Wow.
I try to do my very best to make this as
count his
entertaining as
Twitter tabs?
possible.
Can you what?
Can you count his Twitter tabs? How many does he have open?
I don't know, probably 10. That's what all these guys do. Asmongold and Hasan is just Twitter.
Politics is fucking boring for the most part. I try to make it entertaining. These other guys make it entertaining by turning it into drama, turning it into a clash between one streamer over the other. I try to make it entertaining, not through this clash, but instead by, cracking jokes, making it fun in some way. I feel like if I were to sit here and read source material all the fucking time, it probably wouldn't be as entertaining for people.
So he does it off stream.
Here's what happens. If California goes red, you never win another national election and another national issue ever again. Progressives never win another national issue. They never win another, you know.
To oversimplify, do you think there's something to be said about how we don't have discussions with the goal of finding true middle ground? Debates seem to be so team sports focused. That's fine. That's what a debate is supposed to be. A debate is supposed to be, in an ideal world, is you're figuring out which idea, you know, survives the conflict. The idea, you don't have to have two major ideologically opposed people to have a debate as like a truth-seeking thing. The truth-seeking should be a byproduct of the conflict, you know, between the two in terms of figuring out who you feel, you know, performs better. The actual like research and truth that goes into the preparation for the debate is supposed to be where everything happens, ideally, in an ideal world. Like Hassan would prepare notes and he would read more, he would read anything, if he knew that he had to withstand scrutiny to somebody who wanted to challenge him on his insane takes on basically every single thing that he talks about. But because he doesn't have to do that, he can just do the propaganda slot. Like,
Wouldn't he just lie?
What do you lie about? What?
You know, whatever. Wouldn't he just lie during a debate? I don't think he's above that, right?
Well, he's not, but it would start to become painfully obvious because there would be other people that would be on his side who would have more measured takes. I could give a more measured take on from the Palestinian side on Israel Palestine than this fucking retard ever could. But he doesn't give a fuck about the conflict or know anything about it. But he doesn't have to. He's not trying to. He's just selling the aesthetic of doing that.
You know, election with Democrats. It just.
But it's like playing in the World Cup doesn't make you. Like, nobody was made a good athlete because they played in the finals of some sports thing or whatever. It's all the training and the prep and everything getting up to that point.
Never happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, it's already like.
What is this? Things Destiny believed in the weeks following October 7th. Palestine has an air force. Palestinians have advanced film production industry, which they use to fabricate footage.
Why ever said that Palestine has an air force? What? Palestinians have an advanced film production industry they use to fabricate footage. It's called an iPhone. What?
Footage of atrocities. Palestinian is not a real ethnicity and are secretly Jordanian. Hamas makes cookie rockets.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. I don't even know if Hassan understands the connection to Jordan, though. Listen, there's a video of a guy doing the sugar shit. What do you want me to say?
Did Destiny really believe in the Pallywood conspiracy theories? I knew he was up to some stupid shit, but it's worse than I expected.
I still do, 100%. And they are real, but that's okay.
Yes, this is the clip from later on in his talking about the subject when he is trying to hedge on the claim that he thinks the Pallywood label makes this seem less conspiratorial.
At one point, they tried CPR, but there was no bringing him back, his husband and father. Yet another innocent Palestinian civilian killed while posing no threat whatsoever.
Somebody died. How is this Pallywood? Because the goal is to capture shit like this because Western... When you have, I think the clip we just watched is, there will be like a kid throwing rocks or whatever at soldiers on the wall, and then everybody, including his fucking parents, will be behind, and they'll have like medics here, and they'll have like cameras here, or like a fucking phone here to record them, knowing that eventually the kid's gonna get shot, and then when he gets shot, they can record it on film, have the parents come in and cry, and then put him on the ambulance. I think I've even clarified, I don't know if I'll clarify it here or not, but like, I'm not saying that people aren't actually dying, they are, but it's all like set up and staged like very meticulously for for Western audience consumption, which it absolutely is. Media eats it the fuck up. This guy's wife and a whole medical team are, what, I guess a minute or two walk off camera, and this guy's gonna walk towards more like 10 seconds off. Towards where they know the IDF is, where he's been told to evacuate. They know they're gonna get fired at. They're martyrs, they're Shahid, right? This is what they're doing, is they walk forward, hoping to get shot at, and then they're gonna come back, they're gonna get video footage, they bring his wife forward, she cries. I mean, just because it's Pallywood doesn't mean somebody didn't actually die, okay? These guys are willing to blow themselves up. Of course they're willing to fucking die on camera. So he comes forward, he gets shot, they bring him back, he dies, that's unfortunate. Probably don't wanna die, they just wanna get shot or shot at. Bring him back, wife comes forward to cry, hospital people take him away, and then they've got their footage, they send it to Western media, and then they played a million times to show Israel is this heartless, evil, fucking cold-hearted monster that just kills civilians indiscriminately. This is, like, they literally say they're going into a combat zone. This is what people mean when they say power. Yep, 100%, and it's true.
How is this any different than Ben Shapiro trying to intellectualize his unbelievably putrid fucking worldview, by the way? It's the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, they are in complete alignment on this issue.
Am I wrong about any of what I just said? Is he going to say anything about what I just said?
But once again,
great analysis, Hassan Piker.
He delivers this information with confidence in a way that is like very palatable to not knowledgeable people. If you are in any way, shape, or form knowledgeable or empathetic as a person, and you have seen the amount of violence that Israel subjected the Palestinians.
Like, and now it's just back to propaganda. I've got a video here that I'm showing to demonstrate my point. I apparently have notes even on the conversation I'm having right here in the background as I'm having an argument with somebody else who's trying to contend with the point that I'm bringing up. I mean, like, but that's not worth responding to. You're just going to go back to the slopaganda talking points. Okay.
Palestinians too, over the many years that Israel has, operated as an apartheid state. You obviously hear something like this and you go,
Apartheid, genocide, and ethnic cleansing. Do we hit these two?
oh my God, this is an unbelievably racist narrative. How the fuck did this guy
racist.
learn about Hasbara? He's just some,
Can we do Islamophobic next?
like, American Cuban dude. Why the fuck why is he so goddamn tapped
American Cuban dude. Trump, please, God, Trump. One thing you can do to win my vote.
in? Like he's Hen Mazik or something, right? But if you're not knowledgeable, if your first interaction with the issue of Israel happens to be this guy whose videos you've seen on the internet where he's dunking on some of the stupidest fucking mouth breathers you've ever seen, and you're like, this guy's a beacon of intellect.
Oh, I wonder why I have to argue with them. Crazy how it only ever seems to be the people that aren't clued into the propaganda model that come out to debate on this, because you can't argue these points. There's a reason why he hasn't said anything to contradict anything I've said.
He's a giant in his own right. He has the capacity to convince you that his worldview is actually impenetrable, it's unshakable, it's the correct position, and it's actually the most well-researched position you can arrive at. That's why he consistently will undermine my positions and be like, oh, he's unserious. Between me and him, I wonder who's the less serious one, the guy who fucking watches my stream for the most part, or the guy who's out there like interviewing candidates, going to political rallies, organizing.
All things that when I did in the past, Hassan said I would only do these things just to get, I don't know if anybody has clips of that. He used to say like, oh yeah, Destiny only did the canvassing stuff so that people couldn't criticize him. And it's so funny because now Hassan tries to shield himself with the same thing. Destiny, if someone is to properly prepare before debating, who does the responsibility of ensuring they do so fall upon? What do you mean? Themselves, their opponent, the moderator, the platform, the audience? I don't know, I guess all of them. If they don't prepare well, then ideally they would get trounced in whatever debate or argument they're trying to have, no?
And for the most part, covering the fucking news, with this very rare exception.
Play it, Unk. What is
Out of
this?
my Destiny, isn't he canvassing for the left? Yeah, dude. The left is John Ossoff. Fuck my dick. I already had one controversial figure on. If I was going to have smaller content creators on, I would rather have them be, lefties that with relevant politics, like Canadian lefties, like the Sirs, for example.
A fucking loser, bro. Holy shit.
He is the dumb guy's ideal.
Of a smart guy, yes. I feel like I'm on so many levels of fucking Inception right now because that's what Hassan is. But if he says the other person is, then it's just like, yeah.
Thinker. He makes dumb guys feel confident. He makes dumb guys feel like he's a brilliant person. And if they...
But thanks, I guess, for airing my entire argument out there also without even contradicting a single thing I said, but okay.
They just like try to do a bad job at repeating what he's saying, that they'll also come across as brilliant. In any case... A growing number of Jewish Democrats say they feel increasingly unwelcome. Yeah. That's bullshit.
Especially when they redistrict everything, right? Which they are doing. And they're disenfranchising more Democrats, which is good. This is a very good thing. Should disenfranchise all of them, in my opinion. But we can't do that. That's like illegal or something.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
It's going great. You have a call to action to do.
I do. And... Sorry, I was starting.
You're good.
We are here because... Do you have the website up?
Wait, no, I don't like me.
Yeah.
Oh, also introduce yourself.
Oh. Hi, guys. I am Shea. I am the Deputy Organizing Director for Digital Ground Game.
Based, okay.
And we want to talk about our call to action and we want to talk about John Fetterman.
Our king. Oh, wait, I have the website.
Or Pennsylvania King, Steven.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, let me grab a Red Bull. Hold on, before you don't say anything yet. Or I have the website up. You can talk about 1 second. Shut up.
Red Bull, really? Don't you think he's a little mean?
Who's mean? John Fetterman?
Steven.
Or Steven's mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really? He just told me to shut up. You don't think that's mean?
I mean,
Yo,
Hello, Darius.
Slime. Are you dealing with the canvassing thing? Like, are you like the leader of that?
Are you talking Shea?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the deputy organizing director. I know about canvassing.
Okay, I'm trying to talk to like the boss of the canvassing setup. I want to know like what's okay to stream. I'm trying to like set up some stuff. I'm just a young streamer trying to like make it, and I want to like canvas and also do some political like activism. And I would like to get all my homies involved, but I just don't know who to talk to.
He's asking. He's trying to figure out what he can stream, what he can't, and who to talk to for the canvassing stuff. See.
Is now the appropriate time to do that, Darius?
Is this not the CEO?
No, I'm a deputy, but you can, if you message me, I'll get you to the right person.
All right, I'll send you a DM.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're here.
All
We're
right.
live.
All right. So today's call to action is we need to keep John Fetterman voting with the Democrats. I know he is a contentious person and people are like struggling with that, but this is actually my senator and I am out here in comment sections being his strongest soldier.
Okay.
And so he votes well. I mean, like, I understand that we talk about like Fetterman's voting record and people talk about like how he's doing stuff with Trump, but really he's not doing that much. He's still the majority of the time voting with Democrats on Democrat things. And so we need to just keep him because if we're going to take the Senate, we need his vote. I mean, we need to be able to control things. And so I need all of you guys to contact your Democratic senators and contact Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer because I need you to tell them to be nice. I need you to I am unironically asking to help my senator get friends.
So you want someone to take him to dinner?
I want him to take him to dinner. Yeah, hang out with him at lunch. I don't care. Go to Sheets. You know what we love in Pennsylvania? We love gas station food.
Wawa.
Take him to Sheets. Okay, well, I'm in Western PA, so
Okay.
we like Sheets here.
Linked the call to action in chat. We want people to be nice to Fetterman so he stays in the Democratic Party. Is that what we're?
Yes, because my other senator is a Republican, and he is literally just being nice to him, taking him out to dinner, having lunch with him in like the Senate cafeteria, and they're like best friends now.
Damn.
And it's getting a little concerning, so we want to keep him. He has a good voting record.
You know who loves working with wackos? Rokana. We'd get him.
I need everyone to. I'm like anything. Please just be like.
Someone take this guy out.
We've been
to dinner.
bullying
Jesus.
him.
Kill him with kindness is what MrMouton means.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, we've been bullying him for a year, and it has just made him like dig his heels in. So we just need to be nice to him. And so really, I'm asking. What I'm hoping for. This is my hope. Is we need like 50 to like 100 calls a day for like 2 weeks.
Jesus.
To Chuck Schumer, to all the Democrats, because then they'll take it seriously. They'll be like, oh, people actually like care that John Fetterman stays with us.
Okay. We'll
And
keep
so
that in
I
mind.
think that's
I have a meeting next week with Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Pelosi, so I'll make sure to tell them too when we're chatting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, if they can just show up. And he really liked Bernie. He was a Bernie bro, so.
I got the Ouija board. I'm thinking of hitting McCain up.
Jesus
Seeing
Christ.
how we can fix all this.
That's perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you for your call out. Hopefully people will do what they need to, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Have fun. Be careful.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
I got your editors working overtime. Just a call out. Hey, if you feel like Hassan is skinwalking Steven with some of his points, if you wouldn't mind making a clip of it and sending it over to Arc on Discord, that would help the thing a lot. That would help all the editors. Arc_editing. Arc_editing. This is either going through Hassan shit or going through Steven shit. And send in clips over.
Uh-oh.
Good luck. Can you tweet something nice at Fetterman, Steven?
We'll see. Just going over. Looking at LSF. I see nothing. I need a new game. Did you play any of the Final Fantasy VII remake games or no?
No. You know me, not a gamer.
You fucking loser.
You need a new game, huh? What's new is old.
Holy shit.
Minecraft?
We should get somebody to go to a laptop repair store in DC in a in a fucking slot kid mask and like drop off a laptop, and the laptop is like full of stuff that gets sent to the DNC, and it's all the Republicans shitting on Fetterman. And then they can send it to the New York Times, and they can post it, and they can be like, can you believe all these people on the Republican side are making, and then Fetterman will see it, and he'll be like, fuck those guys, and then he'll flip.
That's genius.
Noise canceling is actually kind of insane. This guy, I'm sorry, I just have to shout him out every time, is the most like conservative coded person of all fucking time. But he's a big lib on Twitter.
This guy, JerryRigEverything?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He started tweeting about politics. I'm like, God damn it. Because he is like the conservative archetype. I don't know why. It's like, God damn it. But it was all like lib stuff. And I was like, hell yeah.
Shit, he's a Mormon.
Well, listen.
You can't have it all.
One headphone to rule them all. Or so they say. I have in my hand the world's clearest earbuds for phone calls, and it's time to find out whether or not that claim is true. Soundcore says their new Liberty 5 Pro noise-canceling headphones can make crystal clear calls anywhere. All right, bet.
Bet.
No shot.
And this is what the audio quality would sound like if I was making a phone call with the Liberty 5 Pro.
Look at
my
that.
channel sponsor,
It probably just has
It's
retarded
actually
noise canceling now. Like,
well, yeah, that's what it's doing, of course. What do you mean?
but I mean, like, whatever. I'm retarded. Ignore me.
Yes, it has noise canceling. Correct. Yeah.
I'm retarded. It's
kind of insane. But with my headphones in, it decreases the noise of the lawnmower substantially for me, as well as I can have a normal conversation with the person at the other end of the line. They also are not as bothered by the mower.
Oh my God, I hope it uses AI. Please, God.
No other headphone on the planet is as clear during phone calls as these Liberty 5 Pros.
All thanks to 5 microphones inside of each earbud, including a microphone that is a bone conduction microphone. The bone conduction microphone is from my vocal cords through the bones in my skull, and the receiving end of the phone call has clear audio.
It'll be interesting to see how it looks from the inside here in a few seconds.
It's not just about the microphones either. Soundcore is using the world's first neural network inside of an
Yes!
There it is. In-memory shit called sucks. I gotta watch out for the end of this blade. And I'm super glad that the people at the end of this call don't have to hear all of this noise.
The Liberty 5 Pros are definitely my favorite piece of technology so far this year, so much so that I'm gonna...
You were talking some shit about the Scandinavian system not being scalable to the US. I would love to debate you on that as a person directly involved with Danish government. Wait, have I said that?
I don't remember that. I remember you saying that Medicare for All would be the most fucking far left Medicare system.
If I would have to look back at the context when I said it, but generally that's it's usually a white nationalist talking point. Because the idea is that Scandinavian healthcare systems can't be scalable to the U.S. because in Scandinavia they only have white people, and that's how their welfare programs work. But black people would ruin it all. That's usually a white nationalist talking point. I might have said they weren't. Scalable is a weird word to use. Scalable implies that it works at some level, but when you start to expand it, for some reason it'll stop working. I don't know why. I'm just trying to think. Why would I say it's not scalable to the U.S.? I might have said something about like Norway's stuff maybe wouldn't work in the U.S. because Norway gets so much money from just oil or something. Maybe
the oil shit.
That like I might have said something like that, but I don't know. That'd be my guess.
I'm going to give away 10 pairs here on YouTube and 10 pairs over on Instagram. Just let me know your favorite song down in the comments and make sure you're following me in both places. The Soundcore Liberty 5 Pros hold...
Can you talk to Moot about buying a house? Dan can't stream fucked over MrMouton and put him on a blacklist. What?
Okay, this isn't true. Dan hit me up with a crazy move earlier. Oh god, it was a wild move, Steven. Dan told me to tell the real estate agent that I was going to meet with today that I will only work with them if they give me half of their commission.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was the Dan move that he told me to do in Canada.
Is it like a buyer's market or a seller's market for homes right now in Canada?
I don't know. I don't know what it ever is. It's always retarded up here.
Sure. That matters a lot though, because there are times when
it does, for sure.
Houses will sit on the market fucking forever, and there are times where people have to like buy in cash because like they'll be on the market for less than 12 hours and people will fuck you over if you try to put in an offer.
Let's see where we're at right now.
Eating half of somebody's commission though is pretty wild. It's not going to help you that much, and it's going to hurt them a ton.
Right now, this website's saying it's a seller's market. Yeah, but Canada homes are like, it's like $900,000.
Sure.
But
but if there, what is the commission? Oh fuck, is it 2 to 5%?
2.5%.
2.5 on the loan.
It's 5%, right? But then half and half goes to seller and buyer person.
So you would be getting an extra $20,000 while you take on a $900,000 loan. I understand that there's going to be down payment, but let's just assuming. Whereas they would be going from earning a $40,000 commission to losing half. Like you're not, your gain wouldn't be that much. They would be losing a fuck ton.
Dan's argument is, well, what the fuck are they doing? And then he eventually ended on, you should just find it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't want to use an agent, then just go, go home shopping on your own, I guess, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That was an hour of our stream this morning.
Because I don't understand, why would an agent ever accept that rather than just tell the seller to drop the price on the home?
Because their job's easy, is what Dan would say. And they'd rather $20,000 than not.
Yeah, but they could probably just drop the price on the home $100K and they would still earn way more and they'd sell it immediately, no?
Sure, but we're not talking to the seller's agent at dropping the money. We're talking to the buyer's agent at dropping the money. My agent.
Oh.
The seller's agent would still get their 2.5. The person who's working with me would then only get 20K.
Why would they ever agree to that?
Because they want you to buy through them. It's just business. You wouldn't
okay. Like, if they could sustain that, then why wouldn't every realtor just do a 1% commission instead of a 2.5?
Because nobody asks, is what Dan would say.
True, okay. Destiny, I would really love to debate this because I don't think it has anything to do with race. We accept a ton of immigrants, and that has in no way negatively impact our economy. Well, that's not my argument. I would never. That's why I'm saying I don't usually make that argument. I don't think I would ever make that argument. But I don't know, okay.
The Guinness Book of World Records for the...
Why are we watching this?
This is a good thing for durability. I can still pop them off.
I don't know. You fucking put it on after complaining about not having a game to play. And I want to play a game too. How about Minecraft?
Yeah.
Terraria could go back there. Final update or whatever.
Oh yeah, the final update.
Whatever game it's going to be, it needs to be a good stream game that you can have, you know.
There are no good stream games.
Well, Minecraft is.
Your Momcraft is. Got him.
No, dog. No, this is the Charlie Chaplin mustache. You know Charlie Chaplin, right? Yeah, I know Charlie Chaplin.
You know I'm a fan of silent film comedy, right?
Yeah.
Well, come on, man. Hitler ain't the only person that gets to have this mustache.
Yeah, I guess Michael Jordan had one too for a little bit.
Exactly, right? And guess what? I'm not gonna let some monster from the 20th century dictate fashion for all of eternity. You know what I'm talking about? Other people get to have this mustache if they want to.
All right. Yeah, it just caught me off guard.
Okay. Oh, man, you crazy. You gotta take it easy, man. This is my abode, brother. When did you get a German Shepherd? What, Adolf here?
See, what?
No. Not Adolf Hitler, okay? Adolf Marx, Harpo. I love the Marx brothers. Why are you busting my chops? You know this. What? You know what? You need to relax and take it easy, okay? Everything is cool, man. Let's crack these
Show your
open,
Buddhist
all right?
symbol.
Exactly.
Show you the kitchen. Kitchen's amazing, man. The best part about this house is I got this thing for like $20,000.
Oh, no!
What?
Nope.
What? The swastika?
Yeah, the swastika.
This is a vintage comedy prop from the movie The Producers, okay? You saw The Producers, the musical inside the musical, Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
And they did a remake. We had Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick in it.
Look,
Nathan
hey,
Lane was in the cut.
That's
Nathan Lane
a
was in the
symbol
cut.
of hate, man. You can't just hang that on your wall.
It's a comedy prop, man. It's just like a rubber chicken.
It's not like a rubber chicken.
The fucking Nazi sword, bro. Do you remember that?
Oh my god. Yes.
Wait, do you remember the whole thing though?
He said it was like a Buddhist sword or whatever, or it was
No,
from some
or
fucking
it was
show
like
he watched.
he said it was some anime sword, yeah, and he didn't
Yeah.
have any idea that it was like it didn't look like a swastika to him.
It's just like Platner's fucking
No.
Totenkopf.
Wait, it is just like it though in another way because people found the original video where he was buying it at the convention, and he literally says, "Oh my god, it looks like a swastika." And then they bought it. Yeah, link it. Somebody link it. Who's got it? Who got the link? Who?
You think they just have a file of Hassan links?
They
do. Yeah.
They do, and somebody's got it.
One of your editors just
Hassan
sent me
buying swastika sword.
One of your editors just sent me a sad Pepe emoji and a rope and said, if you play a video game, I'm going to do it to him like that.
Good.
I don't know.
That is a fucking uncomfortable similarity to a swastika.
I bought this on stream, dude. What are we talking about? I
No,
bought this
does
at
he watch
Anime
the clip?
Expo on stream.
I don't think so. There's an
Here's the VOD. You bought him on stream, yeah.
That's okay. Have fun, y'all.
I literally say right here, I don't even fuck with Bleach like that, but the sword is sick.
The right way.
It's hard to take. I'm gonna go. Dan got clips sent to him. Dug up moments of you saying you don't even like Bleach. Where they got these convenience clips so quickly? Who could say? Yeah, this is. I mean, here's another clip of me literally purchasing it because I think it looks cool because it's a long sword.
Because it looks cool. I don't even know if he gets to it in this clip, but this was the.
This one, the normal one without the. This one's sicker. Wait, that's a little sus.
Nah. Questionable.
Bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It immediately goes for the swastika one. God.
No!
I like this already much better.
better.
It's just.
And then he lied?
Yeah. This is like everything he does. This is
How?
everything. This is all politics. I blame Trump.
But how does his audience let him get
I blame
away
Trump
with it?
because they all live in their own little sealed bubbles and they never have to confront anything. It's just like so crazy. Listen, my duder, I don't know what you've heard about me in chat. I'm sorry. Not to call you out, you are calling out, but can you explain why the Danish/Scandinavian way wouldn't work in the US? I think on paper, I think it probably could. I don't know if Americans would be happy to give up all the little choices they like to make in their own retarded way of engaging with healthcare, but if you were to force it on them, I think it probably would work in the US. I think we'd probably be better off for it, I think. He likes Souls Reapers because they genocide the Quincy. Damn. Anyway, yeah. Great guy.
This sword.
Nah. Many such cases. What is this? Americans are finally starting to realize that their fruit is no longer fruit. Most people don't know that the U.S. food supply is saturated with genetically modified organisms. Oh my God. I like how their first instinct is it's fake food and not it's poor quality produce that wasn't conserved properly in the supply chain. So now instead of advocating for better food regulations, they just spat out conspiracy theories online. Wow.
Do you know how many GMO crops are grown commercially worldwide?
All of them? What do you mean?
There are 13 primary GMO crops grown commercially worldwide. I believe it's like soybeans, corn. Man, I don't know the others off the top of my head. But everybody tries to make everything sound like it's super fucking GMO, blah, blah, blah. But it's not actually that crazy.
Wow.
Corn, soybeans, cotton, tomato, rapeseed, potatoes, papayas,
Jesus.
squash, beet, canola, alfalfa, rice.
That's,
Okay,
that's basically all of them, right?
That's everything, yeah. If you want him to play a game, suggest Roblox debates Kino, said the editor.
The Nazi tattoo. What, like, totem pope tattoo, the Nazi tattoo. What, like, how do you kind of...
Somebody said that they talked to somebody who had seen one of those or wore one of those, and it was silver, and it didn't even occur to him that it was the same thing. I think people are making as much of it as they can because they don't have a lot of substance around anything else. And if they did, we'd hear about it, believe me. They are trolling for dirt.
What if he has like a Israeli flag tattoo or something? Would that be a deal breaker?
For me?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That would be
Israeli?
the deal breaker?
Yeah, because I don't support genocide and he doesn't either. And that would show that he was being inconsistent. And he's been very consistent about that. Straight across the board.
What does the HH stand for on the jacket here? Somebody help me out with this.
Oh, I made that joke. That was funny.
His Holiness?
That's it. That's his merch line, man.
Helly Hansen.
I would die.
It's a real popular brand. Okay. Queen.
I just like the tattoo.
True. What'd you guys go over today?
I watched the video on Graham Platner earlier because we got the Whick thing tonight.
Tonight? What time?
7 it starts.
Oh, shit.
You know, I mean, he said a few things in there that I didn't hate. Like, he said, I'm not going to be a pain in everyone's ass, and no offense to the Pennsylvania senator, but that seems like what he's doing these days. So that gave me hope.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talked about how the manosphere is retarded, and he wants to, you know, bring less toxic masculinity to the boys.
Based, okay.
But I would say that the majority of stuff he said was retarded. But I'm really clinging on to the, I'm not going to be a pain in everyone's ass.
Well.
He said he liked Rokana, which that hurt me. Inside.
Well, you know, a lot of people like Rokana. You just have to accept that.
I guess.
Age of the sloppulous. Not really. We just have a few sloppulous we have to deal with. Hopefully the trend reverses at some point.
I would hate him a lot less if he wouldn't have gone on with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, she's a sloppulous, so.
She's also a Jewish space laser believing.
Doesn't matter. If you're on Team Sloppulism, you can do anything. Wait, did you see? You said you watched season 1 of True Detective?
Yeah.
Finished it last night. I thought it was good.
Matthew McConaughey gives an excellent performance in that, as well as does the other guy.
The other guy?
I don't remember. I get him confused with another one. Woody Allen? I get him confused with someone.
You mean Woody Harrelson?
Yeah. Woody Harrelson and I think Woody Allen. Woody Allen. Let me see. No,
Isn't that the guy from Home Improvement?
No. But it is a director. Yeah, I get Woody Harrelson confused with somebody, though. Who does he look like? Woody Harrelson versus... Oh.
Uh-huh. Really?
I get him confused. It's a whole thing.
Oh, you're thinking of Owen Wilson. That's who you're thinking of.
No, these people do not look similar at all.
Are you sure?
I think I just get him confused with Woody Harrelson. I think I just see him in two different things, and I'm like, wait, that's the guy. You gotta watch Andor. I'm telling you, if you liked True Detective season 1,
yeah, I'm gonna like Andor.
You will cream.
Really?
You will cream, man. It's 2 seasons. How hard is that? That's it. It's so good. You're gonna actually be like, holy shit, like this guy is my favorite fucking director of all time. He understands what's going on in the world right now. He gets it.
Just you need to chill, okay?
I'm chill, man. Hold on, let's do a court update. Doe v. Benell, let's check.
Shut the fuck up.
Quick check, quick check. Ooh, nothing yet.
Is it Monday?
Tomorrow, though.
It
Monday,
has to be this week. It has to be.
It's gotta be.
It literally has to be.
She's gonna put on the docket. You know, I've been kind of busy with Trump's thing. We'll just do it at court.
At least I would know.
We'll just do it live.
Fuck it, then
Yeah,
fine. At least we
you'd
fucking know.
Hey, we ball. That's what we'd know. All right, we're fucking going. Yeah.
And then for the very first time, we all get to try to ask Abby question. Wait a second. Where is Kafka?
He's been around.
Could you like secretly depose your own witness without the other side knowing?
No way, right?
You kind of could though, right? Like if you just like ask them a bunch of questions so you know how they'll answer in court, and then you just...
Yeah, I guess if you represent them, right? That seems crazy though. Can they even put her in if she wasn't deposed?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some local rule or some federal rules of civil procedure where you can't. Right? Like imagine if you had a case where you had 9 witnesses and then all 9 of them disappeared. And then all of them
showed up.
Yeah, and then discovery closes, and then finally for court all of them show up. Like,
there's no way. That wouldn't make any sense.
What do you mean it wouldn't make any sense?
Well, I guess you could ask for... I don't know.
It would make perfect sense.
Where's Kafka?
Oh, he says he can't answer that question.
Oh, I'm not answering that question is what he said. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And are you still doing legal stuff anymore?
I don't want to talk about that, but yeah, I am.
You are?
Yeah, as far as like a week ago.
I listened to all this last night.
Someone paid me a visit.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
We paid you a visit. What do you mean, Santa?
Yeah, Santa paid me a visit and brought me a present.
Was it a good present?
Yeah, it was a good fucking present. Don't ask me about that, dog.
What would the witnesses being there even achieve at that point? Well, the thing is that she could go on the stand, and then I don't think you can enter new exhibits at trial, though, right? Like we would just have to go with. We would just have to go with what's in the record, so it's just going to be the picture of that DM.
Oh, is that why you called me?
I guess, and then you could ask about it, right?
Previous things, right?
I guess, but I guess it's just, it seems annoying to me because like,
if she's talking about other shit, wouldn't you just get facts on evidence as a thing? And
well,
then
no, but like they
yes.
could theoretically, without any new exhibits, they could just have like a whole line of questioning that they've already workshopped with her. And then when we go to court, like they could theoretically like run down that whole line and we would have to respond to it on the fly. Because
yeah, I guess.
Destiny, that would defeat the point of discovery. Yes, welcome to my court case where I have gotten no discovery. Is that not tampering? Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking nothing. Yeah, they've already done the massive tampering, of course. What do you mean? The fact that Pxie's lawyer is representing all of the people that we try to depose on Pxie's dime. The fact that Pxie's ex-boyfriend, magically every single message is deleted between the two of them. The fact that, yeah, obviously they're massively interfering with all of these things, but it is what it is.
Abby's going to Puerto Rico for her birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up,
Can you hear me?
Kafka?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, so no, I was just memeing in chat. If the witnesses weren't
like able to be deposed before you like the way that you might get them in is you go, hey judge, we couldn't get the witness for a good reason. You'd want to have a good reason. And then the judge would decide on that, and then from there the judge would go, okay, we're going to have an evidentiary hearing with just the parties, jury get out. We're going to do the whole testimony, direct and cross right now. I'm going to hear all of it, and then I'll decide if it's relevant and worth bringing in, despite the fact that we weren't able to hear it all before trial. So you kind of just do a deposition right then and there in court. Judges don't like doing that.
Yeah.
And
Well, and it's also a little annoying because they could technically prepare who knows what, right?
Well, that's the thing, though, is right. So then the judge hears everything. It's not on the record for the jury to see, and the judge would go, "This is bullshit. We're not letting it in." Right?
What do you mean by what would they like? If she started making really strong claims, would that be bullshit? Or like, what if she says, like, what if she's on the stand for this depo and she's like, "Well, I didn't want to say anything. I was scared of discovery because the defendant said that he would murder me in real life if I ever released this to anybody." And it's like, well, fuck me. Now we have to I have to figure out how to argue against this in court.
Well, yeah, I mean, you would have just impeached that statement, right? You'd come in and say, "We didn't really believe that. Here's you talking to Darius about it. Here's you talking to Darius."
Yeah, but I would have to do this in my 3-day trial period. We'd have no time to prepare anything. I would have to go back and dig through.
Yeah, which is why the judge probably wouldn't even do it. The judge would go, "I'm not." They would I'm not even going to let this person show up, right? The argument would be made by the party that wants to introduce a witness, and that party would go, "Well, judge, here's our." Then the party has to give a reason. It's not Abby's reason. It's the party's reason for why they didn't produce the witness, right? Because they obviously had access to her to provide a declaration, and so then it's like, okay, well,
did you see the little bullshit trick they played where the day after my deposition they had Abby file a second declaration to cover Jones?
I think I remember seeing this.
So
yeah,
fucking cringe.
And so it's like if she's holding her, because remember, a declaration is a person not a person saying, here is my testimony. It's a person saying, here's the testimony I'm willing to provide at trial.
Yeah.
Right. So like a judge seeing two declarations at two different points in the trial and then them not providing them, I think the judge would very reasonably go, this is unreasonable. I'm not going to let this person show up. If you wanted them here, you should have provided them in some format. Like do it as a Zoom where, Destiny doesn't know her physical location. If there's some danger of her physical, just do it as a Zoom then, right? But they didn't even attempt to do that. They just didn't produce her. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing there with testimony. But then as far as exhibits, so before you go to trial, you present an exhibit list and you say, here's all the exhibits I'm going to bring. And then the parties kind of go back and forth on it. In front of the judge, right? It's like that's your pretrial hearing, and the judge will let certain exhibits in or not, or say, if you want this in, you've got to lay the foundation, and then maybe I'll let it in. But if you have exhibits in there, you can have exhibits that aren't in the record yet, but they have to be ones that wouldn't have been able to be reached via discovery. So, let's say you show up and they say, "Oh, here's a message between Doe and Lauren," and you go, "Well, I asked for these and you didn't give them to us," and they would have to have a good reason for why it wasn't produced in discovery or in any of the time since discovery, because even if discovery ends and they find documents that would respond to a discovery request, they still have to give it to you.
Yeah.
So for some reason between that time and the trial, they have to have a reason for why it should come in, and if they don't, then the judge is going to go, "No, it's not coming in. We're not doing this." And so the only way you would theoretically be able to get stuff in past that point is if it's like a super material thing at trial that's really important and they have all of the foundation, it's just remote. It's just very unlikely that you'd be able to sneak stuff in like that. So that's kind of it's possible. It's just incredibly unlikely, and these people are too stupid to actually have thought about how to do
but
this.
They will try it. Would be my guess, right? They've tried
I
a bunch of
I don't know what
crazy
they'll
shit.
try. I don't know. Do they even want her? I don't even know. It's impossible to say. But
yeah, at this point, trying to predict them is unreasonable. So yeah, I mean, it's stupid, but at this point, they have what's in discovery. They have Doe to testify, and then I don't know what your plan is, but if you take the stand, then they will have you testify, and then yeah, after that, there's just not much else there. I mean, I know that you deposed a number of people, but I doubt you're gonna. I mean, I don't know what your plan is to call any of them, but if they try to call any of those people, I don't really know how it's gonna help them. So yeah, it's pretty well fucked for them, as we've been saying. It's just, you can be as fucked as you want to be going to trial, but you can keep it going. If you're determined to go to trial and lose, you can if you survive an MSJ. So
Oh,
Yeah,
fun
that's the hopeful
times.
message I brought. Yeah. All right. Well, just clearing that up. Love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Have fun, big up. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Darius, which one do you want me to do? The classic one? Was the MSJ denied? No. I mean, I still think it'll be granted. It's just, I just hate how long everything takes, and there's no deadlines or timelines on fucking anything at all, and it's just annoying. But that's okay. I'm sure they're busy with something. Type any champion to begin. Jinx. Resource, mana. They are melee. Chemically altered human. And a male. And they were released before 2013? Is that what this means?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. How about Singed, my boy? Okay, they were released between 2009 and 2013.
I think Singed was one of the first champs released
Fuck
ever.
you. No one cares, Moot. They're either mid, jung, mid or jung, melee, mana.
Melee mids?
Melee, mid, or jung. Or support, I guess. I don't know. Are there support? What about like Thresh?
What about Nocturne?
Does Nocturne count? Oh, he could be. Oh, wait. Is Nocturne undead? Oh, Thresh counts as ranged? Okay, well, fuck
I don't
me.
know what Nocturne is, actually.
Let's find out. Nocturne. Oh. Oh, okay. So this means it's jungle and mid?
Yeah.
Okay. Jungle, mid. Volley bear?
No.
Why not?
He's got to be human.
Oh yeah, that too.
Probably not chemically altered, but human.
Am I allowed to look at the list
Talon.
of all? Oh, talent. Oh my god. That's it. 100%. You're a god. Too easy.
Oh, yeah.
First try. Good job, Mooton. You did it.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. You put it offline. Oh, shut up. Okay, what's the details on the Abby call? Or just her chatting with Darius? She just kind of seems like a little flower floating in the wind, like Pxie is. They're all just kind of, you know.
This is what I told Darius. This is what I told Darius.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you sending me? Oh, shut up! Stop.
True though.
Shrimple as. Sometimes you just gotta shrimp the shrimple, you know.
You gotta shrimp it. Greg Bovino saying he might run for president. Oh, nice, man. I'm sure he'd win.
Bovino's running for what?
He said he might run for president.
He could definitely win.
I'm rooting for him, actually. That'd be great. He'd be a great candidate for the Republicans.
Oh, he might win. Be careful. Hold on, let me use the restroom real quick. 1 sec.
Really, the restroom. Really? Steve's going to the restroom. Trying to keep his pants from a girl's womb. Yep. Hey, everybody, if you don't mind going to destiny.gg/store, there's a plushie out right now, and you could buy one today and pick it up. You could also pick up some Shrimple as merch or any of other Destiny's, merch. Destiny.gg/store. Destiny.gg/store. Hoodies for Shrimple as have released, and they're very good, very comfy, and very cool. It's just business. Is EU shipping fixed? EU shipping is going to stay how it is for now. We ran the numbers. Even if we shipped everything to my house that Canadians get, it would cost the same amount for me and my wife to ship everything out to you. There is a promo code for a huge % off. Type in Mooton loves me. Mooton loves me. Capital M, capital L, capital M at the end. Huge discount code. Mooton loves me. Big. What voice does the plushie have? I heard there's a hole in the plushie at the bottom. I don't know what it's for, though. That's just what the streets are saying. That's what the streets are saying. Have you done it? Be honest. No, but I do have a question for chat. When it happens, do you want to be woken up? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, good. How do I go to Destiny's YouTube chat? Destiny. Yo, what up, Destiny's YouTube chat? What up, K from YouTube? Shut it, Moot. What the hell? All right, I did come here for the YouTube chat to show our anything else YouTube channel. If you guys want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that'd be pretty cool. And I'll type it in DGG too. We release videos, and Steve's in them. Steve's in them too.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey.
What am I in?
You know, my mind, my heart. I was telling Stream earlier that you give good massages.
That's what your mom said.
That's what I said.
Okay, I'm finishing this today, so we're on boring reading now.
Woohoo!
Thoughts on this very insightful thread.
We're finishing this. Now responding to a thread.
Why are people so confident Destiny's going to win on summary judgment? AI overview. I am not a lawyer, know nothing about the law, and I'm literally just using AI to try to figure this out. But this seems like a pretty clear loss on the motion for summary judgment, no? What? Why not read the second part of this? No genuine dispute. If the evidence is merely colorable or not significantly probative, the judge can rule without a trial. The whole summary judgment ruling will come down to whether or not the judge thinks that Abby's statement in and of itself is the one statement, that one single statement is worth having a trial over, or whether or not the judge thinks that it doesn't really move the needle on the claim or not. That's what it comes down to. There is a genuine dispute of facts. Destiny's transmission of the video to ABMC, and they have a sworn affidavit from her, which, according to this explanation, is explicitly the A type of evidence that is used to determine this. Yeah, but generally you would also have this person sit for a deposition and ideally give a little bit more testimony. I think throwing an affidavit out there and then dodging all the deposition looks really, really, really bad. If the judge is reading this in the light most favorable to the non-movement, this looks like a loss to me. Well, true. I noticed he said his lawyer thought they probably win on this motion, but can someone with a better understanding explain this to me? Because on its face, this seems like a big L to me. Okay, based. King. Wait, what is this? Destiny, what was the other question besides the do you want to be woken up? Oh, never mind, stop. I don't know what you're talking about. Wow, look, an actual answer. What are you smashing in the background?
I hit one of my light stands on accident.
Oh wait, did you get it all set up?
No, I just got the softbox today. So today it should be all set up.
Ooh.
But I tried to do the bouncing off the wall technique, and I'll just tell you that it was not.
Yeah, HaSlop, guys, come on.
I do want to say, it is kind of cool learning about lights and lighting and shit, because, I don't know.
No,
it's like a new
not.
little skill. It is.
It's cringe. Yeah, no one cares.
Oh, I got a question. How did
boy.
you guys fuck up the audio for the podcast the day after you set it all up for the same guy? You went from AE to Bridges, and you fucked it up and made him wait another hour.
Which time? Show me the VOD and I'll tell you what was.
With Ranton.
You don't want to go over that.
You don't want to talk about that one?
That'll
Who's it gonna upset? Which person?
Just you don't want to do that one. Trust me, you don't want to do that one for your own safety.
Is that a Dan fault?
I didn't say that at all.
Oh, Dan did tell me he doesn't want to talk about that.
There you go. That's where we're at then.
But I will say, he did say he wiped his hand of the Bridges one, and he said that was your fault.
Well, I don't even know what was the Bridges one.
Apparently you made him wait another hour to fix audio. The day after you did it on AE.
I don't remember. That sounds like a communication thing. Like I thought somebody was supposed to message him and then somebody didn't and then somebody else. I thought it was one of those things, but I don't remember. It was probably his fault. Okay. What actually happened? Question mark. Okay. We're doing this. Wait, what is this? Last thing. Fuck. Earlier this month, we shared plans to cap CCV on channels our systems detected are receiving sustained, significant, inauthentic traffic. We'll continue applying those caps as part of our ongoing view bot detection work. Now we're introducing a new optional view count cap feature that creators can use if they believe they're being targeted by bots. Set a cap based on your normal audience size, and we will cap your CCV to match that value. You can turn it on ahead of time as a preventative measure. Who the fuck is ever going to use this? What? Any updates on your Twitch unban? Let me check. Who is the CEO of Twitch.tv? Dan Clan. Nope. No updates.
You know, you have some good ones every once in a while.
I'm all about having good ones. You little bitch. Fuck. I need to add this to my fucking blah blah blah. Okay. Give us a wait. You said there was a Platner interview. Give me that to watch real quick. Go.
Scroll up in our DMs.
Scroll up in our DMs.
We destroyed Iraq. And we destroyed Afghanistan.
Based.
And all the suffering, all the killing, all the dying, all the displacement,
just kidding.
all of it. And that I'm ashamed of.
Wow.
In Maine, there's a candidate for Senate who's electrifying the Democratic base and worrying the establishment.
I did 4 infantry tours in the Marine Corps and the Army. I'm not afraid to name an enemy.
Damn.
He's Graham Platner, a progressive 41-year-old military vet and oyster farmer. His pitch of starting a working-class revolution and a savvy social media strategy has seen him surge in popularity. But he's been dogged by controversy in his short time in the national spotlight.
Hey all, it's Graham here. As you've probably seen, there's a story that's broken about comments I made on Reddit in an earlier part of my life.
I am sorry. but it does not in any way reflect who I am today or the beliefs that I hold.
Now that his primary opponent, Governor Janet Mills, has dropped out of the race, Washington Democrats are pinning their hopes on him to help win back the Senate in November.
Nothing brings people together like wanting to beat Susan Collins.
Is he ready? I sat down with him to find out.
Not a bad interview setup.
Here's my conversation with Graham Platner. Thank you so much for coming to New York on this gray day, but I guess you're used to it, I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, a little bit. This is nice, though.
Yeah.
And at least we're inside on a rainy
inside,
day.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're not out in the elements as you normally are. You are now the presumptive Democratic nominee for Senate in Maine after Janet Mills dropped out. Your opponent, Susan Collins, is viewed as, I think, one of the most vulnerable GOP senators up for re-election. I'm sure you know this, a ton of cash is about to drop into the race on both sides. Are you ready for prime time?
Yeah, I mean, at the point, I'll be entirely honest. Like, when we set this thing in motion back in August, the entire idea was we wanted to build a different looking politics in the state of Maine. Frankly, it's based around like community organizing. I'm a firm believer that organized people is the only actual place of power to conflict with organized money. And in our society, money is very organized. We set out on that. You know, we were hopeful. We thought it was going to work. It's, of course, worked in a pretty spectacular fashion thus far. We're just going to continue doing exactly that. We're going to continue doing the public events. We're going to continue focusing on the field organizing. And we knew that all the money was going to come. We knew that, like, we're up against the establishment of the American political system. In many ways, we were up against the Democratic establishment up until last week. And we figured at some point we were probably going to win that. And then we were going to go up against the Republican political establishment, which is where we find ourselves now.
You know, obviously the test right now is if you can run in a general election. And so, you know, I want to ask straight up because there have already been quite a few controversies, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But the GOP is going to dig up everything and more that they can.
Yeah, and probably lie at some point. I mean,
is there something new you want to get ahead of?
No, I mean, like I've lived my life.
Me too.
I've been there for the whole thing, and because of that, like I mean, I know what I've been through. I know what my behavior has been. I know all of it, and there's a reason that even after however many months that was, October, when they dropped the opposition research stuff on us. And the whole time there was always this like, oh, there's more coming. I'm always like, I don't know like what this more is going to be. And
these are all your social media posts, et cetera, which again, we'll talk about in a minute.
But there was always this like, oh no, they're going to dig up everything in your life. And you know, it's everything you've ever done. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get that. But like, I've been through my life, and like, I'm certainly an imperfect person, and I certainly went through my struggles, and I mean, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I also know for a fact that like I've never been close to money. I've never been close to power. I've never like, you know, I don't think anything I've ever done has been outside of the realm of like what people do when they struggle, when they suffer, you know, that kind of stuff. And
you know, I think those controversies and the fact that you're such an unknown is part of the reason why the Democratic establishment was worried. Not the whole reason, but certainly part of it. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer recruited, obviously, Janet Mills to run against you because she did have that track record of running statewide. And she was viewed as more moderate in his view. There were no skeletons in her closet, so to speak. And so I'm wondering if you feel a lot of pressure right now, because yours is one of the very few races that could really help to flip the Senate into Democratic control. As you know, the Democrats are extremely anxious about wresting some control back in their favor.
For good reason.
You know, I've had Democrats tell me that the fate of the country is sort of in the hands of you and a few other people now. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't engage with it emotionally because it's way too much. Like this whole experience has been just a continual, one intensely surreal thing after another. I mean, it's like last summer when this all happened, I mean, my wife and I went from one day living a very small, simple life to, I mean, literally within days, having this whole thing like upend our entire existence. And so there's
because you were recruited, right? Because they saw a video of you.
Yep.
And
Somebody saw a video of me talking about fighting a Norwegian salmon farm in our area. And they were like, that guy seems well-spoken. Maybe we should go talk to him. And they came to my house and they said that we should run for U.S. Senate. And my wife and I were like, that's the most insane thing we've ever heard. Please get out of our house. And then they came back a few days later with more of like a fleshed out plan. And at that point, we're like, oh my God, I mean, it's still insane, but there's something to it. And for us, we've spent a long time.
This motherfucker used redact.dev to delete his shit. Scroll down to the white box, and you'll be able to go to individual comments. Okay, I've seen the Reddit comments that this guy's made. If you're in the military, a lot of people in the military just say a lot of fucked up shit, and they say a lot of fucking retarded shit. I have not seen anything from this guy's life over the past decade or whatever that makes it seem like he is like on some crazy fucking murder rape path or whatever. Like, who cares? I just can't be fucked.
Being very engaged politically at the local level. And I think both of us are deeply committed to building a significantly better future. And this was an opportunity to do something about it on a scale that, you know, is just frankly hard to comprehend. Still hard to comprehend, to be entirely honest. I mean, I still live in Sullivan, Maine. I still live in my small house and across the street from the boat launch. So my business partner is still like in the yard this week getting the boats ready, and because it's this time of year we're putting boats in the water and getting the oysters up. So like that's all still happening while all this other stuff is happening too. So it's a strange disconnect, I guess.
Yeah, and it brings me to this like idea that you've been running as this anti-establishment candidate, but we've talked a little bit about the Republican money that's going to be dropping on you, but there's also the Democratic Party's money and their organizing power to win this campaign. Do you think that hurts your message of being an outsider?
No, I think it's very clear to everyone just how not the establishment candidate I am or have been. You know, there's without question the Democratic Party wants to retake the Senate. More than anything else. And almost no map that has a Democratic Senate, it does not include flipping the...
Do you think the people defending Platner tattoo are the ones going crazy for Azov? Yeah, of course, but it is what it is.
State of Maine. We have to flip the state of Maine. We have to get rid of Susan Collins for a whole myriad of reasons, not just flipping the Senate. So they're going to come and help us out. The thing that's important to know is we welcome their support in like with the money, because we're going to be up against, I mean, the NRSC's already put aside almost $50 million.
That's the number I heard. Yeah.
For this race. That's insane. I mean, also, by the way, could you imagine investing $50 million in the state of Maine? Like in anything, it'd be a different looking state. The fact that they're just going to blow it on like negative TV ads just shows how gross and insanely flawed the system that we have is around politics. But we'll take their help because we're going to need it on that front. But we're not going to take as like, frankly, direction or advice on what we're doing, because what we've built is ours. And we have 15,000 active volunteers in the state of Maine. And we have more signing up every single day. And a lot of people who were supposed to be really, really good at politics, who were the experts, they all said that all this was entirely impossible. And we didn't just prove them wrong, but we did so in rather spectacular fashion. And we're just going to keep doing that. I mean,
you know, you had said that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had not really reached out to you until Janet Mills sort of dropped out. And you've had a conversation with him recently. Did you tell him that? Did you say, hey, bud, stay out of my business?
No, I said, look, we are happy to work together to beat Susan Collins. I mean, nothing brings people together like wanting to beat Susan Collins. It's a very unifying thing. The conversation was short. We did not get into details. He said, congratulations. I said, thank you very much. He said, the priority is to beat Collins. I said, that's my priority too. And however we can work together to do it effectively is what I'm willing. I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched you on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
And one of the main messages that you have, though, is not to put too fine a point on it, but, you know, F the establishment.
Yeah.
And I guess, do you think Schumer should be replaced as leader then? I mean, are you...
Yeah, I don't. My criticisms remain exactly the same as they were last Wednesday. I do think that that leadership in the Democratic Party has really failed the moment. I don't think, I mean, for a bunch of different reasons, I do think that Senator Schumer has not really risen to the occasion, and I think we do need new leadership in the party, without question.
Last question on this, and it is about Susan Collins. As you know, she has been there since the 90s. She has been a very deft sort of fundraiser and campaigner in the state of Maine. I mean, what do you give your chances, really?
Very high. Extremely high, actually. One, polling bears that out. Now, I am a Democrat in Maine, so I'm wary of polling. There's no question about it. But there is a consistency to it, which is nice.
Because I think there was another candidate that was trying to run against her.
Yes.
She was up in the polling, and
I think
Susan Collins won.
I think a couple things have changed. One, I think polling methodology has changed significantly since 2020. And Maine has always been notoriously a hard state to poll because we have an aging population. There are a lot of people that still use landlines. There are a lot of people that still like do mail. So there are, but a lot of the more recent polling takes all that into account, which it didn't used to. But there's a deeper change, and I think it's a couple things. First and foremost, and people often forget this, 2020.
Really?
Collins had already voted for Brett Kavanaugh, but Roe had not been overturned. And Collins's real pitch for a long time was, like Olympia Snow, she tried to make herself look like, Olympia Snow actually was this, by the way, but Collins has tried to make herself look like this moderate Republican who will buck her party, a woman senator from Maine who is pro-choice, who supports reproductive rights. That fiction could still exist in 2020 because Roe was still in place. Roe is no longer in place. I mean, she said it was settled law. She said it was never going to change, which is why she voted for Brett Kavanaugh. Well, at this point, it has changed because of her vote for Brett Kavanaugh. So either she was lying or she completely misunderstood what was happening. Either way, that doesn't show like a really solid, political acumen. And I think in many ways, that alone is relatively disqualifying, not just because of the implications, but because of the, frankly, just incompetence of it. Then there's the element where, at this point, I don't think you could come up with a better avatar for the long-serving, self-enriching establishment politician than Susan Collins, who raises an immense amount of money outside of the state of Maine, who takes an immense amount of money from AIPAC. She takes an immense amount of money from special interest groups and fossil fuel companies, and she has a very high-performing stock portfolio. I think a lot of people in Maine look at that and are like, yeah, I don't think that is actually the politics I want representing me.
I want to take a bit of a step back and talk a little bit about you, because I think for many people across the country, you're an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
You're out of almost nowhere.
Guy. I'm a random oyster farmer from Sullivan, Maine. So, yeah.
So you're pitching yourself as a working class man. You're a firearm instructor, a gun owner.
Yep.
In your campaign launch video, you're wearing a dirty hoodie, you're shucking oysters, you're swinging a kettlebell, you're chopping wood. What kind of masculinity are you trying to evoke with that?
A healthy one. One in which, like, it is entirely fine to be a weightlifting, kettlebell swinging, gun owning, kind of like rugged guy. You can do all of that and see your strengths or see your privilege as things that are to be used specifically to like uplift and help other people, not to like impose on them. I think right now, especially, there are a lot of young men in our society who are being dragged into this kind of like really dangerous, misogynistic, like manosphere. I just watched Louis Theroux's documentary the other night. It's horrifying. Sadly for me, having spent like having spent my life as an angsty young man, and then being in the service, in the Marine Corps, in the Army, in the infantry, in both very, very masculine spaces, like I have seen that kind of toxic masculinity really attract a lot of young men, and a lot of it comes from the fact that I think that there are a lot of men who are deeply, deeply insecure, who, whether it's because of trauma, whether it's because society has told them they're supposed to be a certain level of successful and they aren't that. And so then they feel like they've failed, or that society has somehow failed them. And then they're given this story that the only way to make that up is to like impose on other people. To uplift yourself, you have to put others down, which I think is nonsense. I think that just results in you being alone.
Why have Democrats struggled so much with men lately?
Honestly, I think it's because they've left behind the working class. And hear me out here. There was a time where, like, people who like worked for a living, used their hands, were very, very close to the Democratic Party. Through the labor movement, through just kind of general policies, the Democratic Party was once the policy that really represented working folks. And there is this vision of masculinity in America, which has a lot to do with that exact thing, right? Like kind of working, building, creating. There are elements of that I think are very positive. I do not believe in this whole like white working class, that the working class is just a bunch of rugged dudes in hard hats. That's not the working class. Working class is significantly bigger than that, and it's very multicultural, multi-gendered, multiracial, the whole 9 yards. But there is an element in our society that we view like kind of working class people like that. And I think as a Democratic Party has for a while now kind of begun to look like the party of like liberal elites. There's just an element.
You don't have to whisper it.
Sorry, I'm in New York. But it looks like this party and sounds like, and in some ways kind of did become this party of sort of like Ivy League schools and elite, that like when that was left behind.
I mean, the data shows it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want to know a hard thing to talk about, and that no one is even close to equipped, because it would have to be lib-lefters to do this, and they're not ready to do this. You want to know what is a really important thing that at some point we have to address or tackle, and this is just such a hard convo to have. It's this concept that rural America is real America and city America is not real America. That is something that is like so deeply ingrained in our political landscape and our media landscape and our cultural landscape, this idea that like farmers and rural people, that's what it means to be a real American. Those are real Americans. And then like people in the city are just kind of like weird and cringe and out of touch and whatever. Like it is like a deeply ingrained part of our culture, which is why every time you have to talk about like working class, every time you have to talk about like, get in touch with real Americans, it has to be, you're just talking about people who are in rural areas. And I don't know why. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can think why. There's like a ton of stuff that goes into that, but it is really annoying because like working class America, and Platner kind of said it here, I think, if I didn't misunderstand him. Working class America, if we go back to the 90s, I've talked about this before, right? All of the working class, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I don't know if there's kind of working class America. That depends on how you define it. But like the people that kind of became the new working class Americans were people who were in cubicles who hated their lives, right? If you think of like The Matrix, you think of Office Space, you think of what's the movie with the guy who goes crazy, we all fall down or something? Am I making that up? But like that was like Fight Club. Yeah. It's the idea that like, working class people are going crazy, they have nothing to do it, but we call it white collar. But I feel like falling down, that's it. I feel like white collar, it just implies something different than what it is today. Like in the past, white collar and blue collar used to denote like, I feel like white collar people are very, very, very wealthy.
Somebody who works with their hands, or somebody who
and
works
blue collar
in like
is people. Yeah, but I feel like today there's like a lot of middle class or even like lower middle class white collar-ish jobs. And I don't know if like the distinction maps on as cleanly anymore. But I don't know. That's just a whole separate. I'm not necessarily faulting any of these people anyway, but it's a really, really hard conversation topic to have. Yeah.
I mean, the strength of the Democratic Party is in cities. It's among the educated.
Yeah.
It's among women, actually.
And I think a lot of that came because the Democratic Party abandoned organized labor. quite frankly.
Is that what you were tapping into when you did your thing?
Yeah, I mean, like it wasn't. Yes, I mean, but I'll be honest, like not performatively. This is just my life. I mean, I do swing kettlebells, I lift weights, I work on the ocean with my hands, I shoot guns. Like it's all. There's nothing performative about it. It's just kind of my existence. So yeah, I think I want us to be able to reconnect with a healthier version of masculinity, one that is rooted in hard work and building things.
You're not a looks maxer?
Definitely not a looks maxer. I'm not going to smack myself in the face with hammers because that seems to be like possibly the dumbest thing a human being could ever do. But, that's just me.
One of the things that I have heard debated about you quite a bit is your working class roots. Because, you grew up in a small town.
Yep.
Didn't graduate college,
Wait, hold
became
on.
a bartender.
Yep.
Say it again?
Well, I'm not locked in. Hold on.
Okay.
I pause it.
Because you got to lock in here. Because this is a little tricky here. A little tricky. Bit of a trickster.
Okay.
You grew up in a small town.
Yep.
Didn't graduate college, became a bartender.
Yep.
But also, your father was an attorney.
Yep.
Your grandfather was a Cornell-educated architect,
Yep.
quite well known. You went to private schools. So
kind of. Well, the private school thing, I would just like to. So
Tell me.
Okay. So in eighth, so I grew up.
Hold on. I gotta wait.
So
kind of. Well, the private school thing, I would just like to. So
Tell me.
Okay.
Here, pause here,
so
'cause I got a question.
What?
If you hear someone's grandfather went to college, what does that tell you?
I don't know, man.
That's rich. They're in a fucking architect college. That motherfucker is rich.
If I feel like anytime the word grand or like great comes out and then it's like a name
over.
college, we're talking. But hey, listen, it's
He's just a normal guy. All right, continue.
sure. I've only half listened to this because I'm doing my bibliography thing, but he's presenting himself as kind of like working class or like everything he does is authentic. I don't know if I've heard him say though that he had like a poor background, that he grew up like poor or like struggling or whatever, right?
He doesn't say poor. Just keep listening.
Okay.
I would just like to. So
Tell me.
Okay. So in eighth, so I grew up in Sullivan, Maine. Went to Mountain View Elementary School, which is very small. I think my graduating, I think we had like 12 kids or something, 12 to 14. It was tiny. And my mom really, really wanted my brother and I to get like a high quality education. And this place in Connecticut, Hotchkiss, gave us a really good financial aid package. So my mom was like, all right, that's where you're going. I did not want to go at all because I didn't want to leave.
Why would it matter what you wanted if you're in grade school? You're like 9. Who cares?
Maine. So
not to be mean,
I got sent down there, and there was a moment which I will never forget. And it was the moment I knew that I had to leave this place. I went down to Hotchkiss, and they had like monthly or weekly. I think they called it chapel or something like that. And people, graduates or people would always come and give motivational speeches and whatnot. And the first one I went to, some guy came, some business magnate type, and was trying to kind of inculcate in everyone like the concept of work ethic. And at some point he was just like, who in here's had a job? And I put my hand up, and I was the only kid in the room that put his hand up. And I realized that it wasn't a real question. It was a rhetorical question because of course none of these kids had held jobs. And I then felt really embarrassed.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Was this in grade school?
That's what he said.
And was trying to kind of inculcate in everyone like the concept of work ethic. And at some point he was just like, who in here's had a job? And I put my hand up, and I was the only kid in the room that put his hand up. And I realized that it wasn't a real question. It was a rhetorical question because of course none of these kids had held jobs.
Didn't he say 8th grade? Oh, in my mind, it's grade school up to high school, but middle school, whatever.
And I then felt really embarrassed because
wait, what was his job? Or he said he went to an out-of-state middle school. Yeah, sorry, that's grade school in my mind, but okay.
I'm like 13, and like I realized, oh my God, like I'm like, there are a lot of people here who are like super wealthy, and I'm not. and my family's not, and like and like, we were fine for the record. I grew up solidly middle class without question. But like,
I don't know if I agree with that though.
I guess I don't know what his middle class, because I mean, like, it could be the case. Like, I would say I grew up solidly middle class, upper middle class. When I went to private school, those people were loaded. Those people were fucking crazy.
Give him 5 more minutes.
Okay, I'm trying. Okay.
Listen in for 2017, Steven. That's when you're gonna be like, hold on.
You're trying to make me a hater. Okay.
I mean, all the way, I worked through high school. I bagged groceries. I did landscaping, worked for the Appalachian Mountain Club on the professional trail crew for 2 years before I joined the Marine Corps. And so, like, there was just this, I don't know, this real sense of, like, I was very out of place. So I got myself kicked out by Christmas. I was at Hotchkiss for like 3 months. And then I went back to Maine, and I went to John Baptist, which is up in Bangor, which was far more my speed. Lots of
That's
just
another
normal
private
Maine kids who were more of my kind of world.
I mean, how do you think about class? Is working class how you grew up or how you live now? Like, how do you, because you grew up, you're describing it as solidly middle class.
I think the difference today.
And you make your, in your pitches, I'm of the working class now. I work with my hands.
Yeah, and I am. I mean, I work with my hands. I don't make a lot of money. My wife and I work incredibly hard, and we probably make like $60,000 a year combined. We don't have money left over. We're not saving for retirement, I'll tell you that. I was lucky. I got to buy my house in 2017, and I could not afford my house today. My house has gone up almost 3 times in value. But my
family money?
Was that?
Do you have family money?
My father gave me the mortgage, except of course because he's my dad and he's an attorney, he gave me a significantly higher interest rate than the bank would have.
What did that mean? Wait, what does that mean?
That was what I was talking about. That's the 2017. Yeah.
My father. Oh, his father lent him the money for the house.
No, his father I think bought the house and then is interesting it back to him.
It sounds like his father underwrote the loan or whatever, or gave him the loan for the house, and then he just is paying it back to his father. That's what it sounds like to me.
Because he's a lawyer, but I could have used a VA home loan if I had wanted to, but at that point it was just easier to do it that way. And I mean,
why would you take a loan from your dad if he's going to charge you a higher interest rate?
Because he's probably lying.
No, he's not lying. Do you know what the answer is? I know it. I've divined it. Because I know how these fuckers think.
No, what? Because he's going to get the money back at the end of the day anyways.
You got it! Because he's probably putting it in like a bank. It's like when your dad charges you for candy bars or whatever, and then when you graduate high school, he takes you
here's your $500
upstairs and it's like, yeah, you paid me all this and I invested it in a fucking Charlie Kirk account.
My dad did that with me when he bought me a car.
Oh, there you go. And he's like, yeah, boom.
But to be fair, like, I could never get that today because I can't afford the mortgage. If it was 3 times what it is, my income hasn't gone up 3 times. And so I was lucky to get it then. And so my wife and I very much recognize that the life we've been able to build has come from a lot of like luck. But on top of that is also my VA healthcare and my VA pension, which that really is kind of
it's kind of weird to say that like we're both working together and struggling and getting $60,000 a year, but then like his VA stuff is another $60,000 a year. I mean, it's like I don't know why people. I don't know. No, I know. I don't know why I'm asking. It's a rhetorical question because people have to present themselves as poorer than they actually are. Like, I think that I would not be the person I am today if my parents, regardless of any financial decisions they make, they push really hard to get me to go to a fucking private grade school and a private high school. And regardless of any financial shit, there is no world where I would be in the position I am today if they hadn't had tried to get me into these 2 private schools. It just wouldn't happen. I think I worked hard and all that other shit too, but like, I'm so unbelievably lucky that they were able to do that. And if they were like super, busted, broke, whatever people, I don't think I would have had that opportunity. I wouldn't have known anything about it.
They set you up for the future with with high school and shit.
Yeah, 100 trillion%. Yeah. So.
My VA healthcare and my VA pension, which that really is kind of like that's the baseline that really allows all this to happen. If it wasn't for the VA healthcare thing, I wouldn't have had the freedom to start a business, to move back to my hometown, figure out. I mean, I was flat. I moved back to Maine in 2016 from DC, and I was broke. I was living at my mom's house because I had spent a number of years very depressed, which we can get to about after my combat service. But when it comes to like middle class, working class, I will be very upfront. I think this day and age, you are working class if you work and you make your money from work and wages. The world of wealth disparity has become so intense that there are just so many people now who are sitting on so much money who do not work. They make money off their investments. They make money off of their wealth. And I know it's an expansive definition of working class, but I think you need to have an expansive definition of working class when we have the most expansive margin of wealth inequality in the history of the country. In the state of Maine, almost everybody's working class. Everybody works. Everybody works. Everybody struggles. Everybody has, like, if the hospital closes and that really impacts you, you're probably a working class person. If you're really rich, it doesn't matter where the hospital is. You probably can go wherever you want for healthcare.
It's interesting. I'm listening to you, and on the one hand, it makes political sense to say the working class is this very expansive group that anyone who gets a W-2 and has to pay taxes off a salary, which is different than if you're making it off your investments, is working class, right?
Yeah.
And you get a different kind of hit, as we all know, just having been in tax season. By the same token, it's a strange kind of idea of what working class is. I know people who really consider themselves working class who grew up, with a lot of struggle.
Yep.
And that feels probably to them like that's too expansive a definition.
I spend a lot of time around labor unions. I spend a lot of time around community groups that focus on, everybody seems to subscribe to the same definition because it is so substantial. And to me, it is expansive, but I think it's also I think it's the most accurate definition of what we're seeing right now. And I'll be very upfront.
She should ask me if he thinks she is working class. The reality is like all these things are very loose terms. It's hard to define, what is. They're all just very loose terms. There's a few reasons for this. One of the honest to God reasons, though, but we can't talk about this right now because everybody has to be infinitely cynical of fucking everything, is that you are able now to participate as a worker, as a laborer in our system and not be part of the owner class and still have like a fuck ton of cool amenities and things available to you. So you can just be an ordinary worker who doesn't own a business, but you still have a retirement account. You might have some work healthcare plan. You can like take a vacation and you can have like a nice house. Like it's possible to do this without being part of like the elite ownership class. So then because like more stuff has kind of been opened up to people that are just laborers, now it feels weird or different. Like, well, when we say working class, what do we mean by working class? Like the definitions of like what any of these things are and what's available to them have kind of changed over time, I think. But it's not it's a weird thing.
I get a chuckle out of the fact that like a lot of folks.
The definition also depends on who your friend group is as well.
It could, but then are we talking about like what it means to be, working class, or we're probably like, I think working class like is a proxy kind of for other things or issues sometimes. Yeah.
Political system who come from incredible amounts of privilege and wealth, they're the first ones to be like, are you really working class? Are you really like, oh, I don't know, you're just out there not making a lot of money and working on the ocean, but your dad was a small town attorney. Does that mean that like you can't actually represent working people? I honestly think it's a tool. It's a political weapon that throughout history has been deployed against people who.
He is right that these class definitions are usually political weapons, but they've been used by, I don't want to say people like him because I don't know what his past political persuasion was, but it's used by people that are trying to attack somebody else, saying you're too wealthy, you don't count, that you're a billionaire, you own everything. But then you see how these definitions have started to fall by the wayside. With the Tom Steyer thing is the most obvious example in California, or people using things like, well, he's a centimillionaire, so he's cool. Like it's, yeah.
Whose primary political goal is to improve the lives of working folks around them. It's always to call into question like their bona fides.
Well, like that's what you guys did, right? Because in your guys' minds, billionaires or super wealthy people can't care about normal people. And now you're mad that people are like turning that back around on you, but it's like this has always been this retarded game,
To be clear, I'm asking you because I'm interested in hearing how you describe yourself.
Oh, no,
and
I don't
how
mean you.
Well, I just to be clear, just
yeah.
to understand how you, tell your own story, and also how you view what your coalition is, because obviously you're pitching yourself to the working class. And
Yeah, I mean, which is also why I think we're winning by spectacular margins. Because in a state like Maine, everybody's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. And we all do feel very much that us and our neighbors in our communities, we're all kind of suffering the same way.
So after high school,
Yep.
you joined the Marines at 19?
Yep. 19. 19.
And I want to ask you about your tours in the Middle East. You went to Iraq in 2005, is that
Like that kind of sort of sounds like I'm curious why he did that. That's interesting to me. If he's coming from like a more wealthy background.
right? Yeah. I mean, we were there at the same time. I covered Iraq from 2002, before the invasion, to 2010. Why did you want to serve? Because you were anti-war.
Very.
You were out protesting the conflict. I just saw this post about you actually in Maine kind of protesting George W. Bush.
I got dragged out of a Bush rally in, I think, November, December of 2002.
I want to thank the...
There's a huge disparity of poor versus wealthy kids joining up. Yeah, but why would you join up without a degree if you're like from a wealthy family? Why, if you could go in as an officer, why would you go in as a yeah, I don't know.
people who take time, who work hard to make sure that the democracy is strong.
Yeah, so it's a strange thing to sign up.
I see. Everybody says that, but like it never was for me. I mean, like one, I wanted to be a soldier since I was about 2. I mean, I was singing the Marines hymn.
Destiny, I think people just don't see folks with like 50 million and gender neutery. I don't know what that word is supposed to be. The fucking same as billionaires. I mean, you can always find another class of people to hate. Like, that's fine. But I feel like there comes a point where you hit like, I don't know if it's middle class or whatever, where it feels like the boot is not on your neck anymore. And I think that when you're under that, it feels a lot different than when you're over that. And then when you're over that, obviously there's a huge difference between living as a billionaire versus somebody with 100 million in savings or whatever versus someone with 5 million in savings, like for sure.
You're talking like paycheck to paycheck versus like somebody who has like a bit of extra money going on, or is that what you mean by boot on neck?
Yeah, like there's just like a lot of stress. Like you can't do anything else because if shit gets fucked, shit gets fucked. Like I remember when I was doing like the carpet cleaning shit, like the idea in my mind was just like, I just need to make enough money so that I die before I run out. I just have to make sure that shit doesn't get like irreparably fucked, and I just kind of like make it. You just have to like make it. You just gotta make it, and then you're good. And by make it, I mean make enough money to pay all your shit until you die. And that's like, there's a huge difference between that versus like, well, I elected to do this job and I moved to another place because I wanted to explore this and blah, blah, blah. Not to knock on any of those people, that's great. But it's like I feel like the reality there is far different than like it sounds weird, but like, I feel like this is an unpopular take. I feel like there's a bigger difference between being working class and having like 5 million saved up by the time you're 30. I feel like then between like having 5 million saved up when you're 30 and like being a billionaire almost. There are going to be some ways that like the billionaire people's lifestyles are like substantially different. You're going to have access to like way more travel, education, elite shit, child islands, whatever they do on that shit. But I don't know. I feel like you have a considerable amount of freedom. If you have a considerable amount of freedom, I feel like it's probably one of the more important things when it comes to working stuff. But I don't know. I'm not a billionaire, so who knows? Maybe one day I'll be a billionaire. But like, oh, actually, way different.
I like this.
Like, I think I was like 4 or 5 when I first memorized it. And I don't know why that is. Like I don't come from like, I mean, we have a long lineage of military service in my family, but like my dad wasn't in the service. My parents were not enthused about my joining of the Marine Corps. But I always had an attraction to, I think, service, but I also had an attraction to adventure. And, you know, in our society, we do very much sell militarism and war in this very romantic fashion about adventure and excitement. And then there's also, and I think you can probably understand this too, there is this weird attraction when everyone tells you that the only way you could ever experience it is to be there. That it's a thing that is so unique and so its own thing that no one could ever get it unless you had seen it. And I think for me, there was an element of curiosity to that, where it's like, well, I mean, like, what is it then? And I grew up reading military history books, and I was into Civil War reenacting, and I was like it's like a little military nerd.
Careful.
But I also in high school became pretty critical of certain elements of, I think, American foreign policy. Certainly when the war in Iraq was kicking off, I was like, this seems like a deeply stupid idea.
Yeah, I mean, you had an image of you in high school holding up a sign saying "Free Kosovo, Chechnya, Kashmir, Palestine, Kurdistan, and Tibet." That's
I got really into Irish politics when I was in high school, which introduced me to, I think, some sort of a connection to like national liberation struggles and seeing people as like seeing the world through that lens. At the exact same time, though, I was still like a young man in the United States, and I was very patriotic. And so there was to me, the two things never, I met a lot of guys in the Marine Corps that thought that the war was dumb and were there, but they were there because the attraction is more to like the camaraderie and the kind of whole, like, I don't know, the whole like, the infantry combat unit thing. It's less about like why you're doing it. In my experience, I never met anybody. I don't have many friends in the Marine Corps who, when we were serving, they're like, yeah, I'm definitely here to like fight for George Bush and do whatever. No. I mean, they're there for like, because you joined the infantry. You're there because you were a young, angsty man and you like joined up and you wanted to go have an adventure and you wanted to fight. I mean, that's what the infantry primarily is.
Can you tell me, with that in mind in your head, that sort of romantic vision of what it was, what you felt when you first arrived in Iraq? Because you were based in what was called then the Sunni Triangle. Yeah. Very high conflict area.
When we first got there, it wasn't so bad. So January, February, March were pretty mellow. We did the election late January, that first Iraqi election, January of 2005. Somebody shot an RPG at us, but like it didn't go off. And then on April 2nd, 2005, there was a large combined assault, multiple suicide car bombs, an immense amount of indirect fire, rockets, mortars, the whole 9 yards. And that was like my first actual interaction with like combat. The rest of that deployment was fairly mellow. Summer came, a lot of IEDs. We got blown up a bunch. A couple serious incidents with my platoon and took some casualties, but for the most part, it wasn't like continuous. And then that deployment ended August of 2005. We came home for like 4.5, 5 months. I went to machine gun leadership course, and then we promptly went to Ramadi for 2006, and that was like a totally different.
That was the middle of the Civil War.
Yeah. And that was, Ramadi in 2006 was the
worst of the worst.
And we were at the government center in downtown Ramadi, and we just lived there. Everybody else came and rotated through, and, journalists would come and the brass would come, and they'd all come down because they all wanted to see the government center because that's like where all the fighting was. And like, we lived there, like just where 8 months, no days off. Didn't have a single day off for 8 months. It was exhausting. And it was very, very violent. I mean, just like regular contact.
Wait, what is your debate over exactly?
We're talking about Graham Platner and if it's blue no matter who, no matter what, or something like that. I think he might bring on some people who are gonna be against Graham and blue no matter who. I'm not sure.
What side are you guys on?
Hutch is gonna be there. I mean, I'm on blue no matter who. I don't care if it, as you said, is Hitler's reincarnated ghost. Like, I don't. As long as you're gonna vote Dem half the time, like, fuck it.
Damn. Okay. And it starts in 10 minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
what do you remember about how you felt being part of that war? Because it's just interesting to me, considering where you came from, to suddenly find yourself as part of an occupying army in the Middle East, no less. I'm just wondering how you sort of made sense of the mission, because you wrote to your mom at the time, the United States is doing an amazing thing here. It took me coming here to realize that. Don't think we are somewhere we shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in 2005, we were actually engaging in like some building projects. We were helping turn the water back on. We were like, it felt, I was also 20. I was still a kid. So I get, and you need to make all this stuff mean something, right? Like you want to be part of something good. And so as I saw like what seemed like doing good things for a little bit in 2005, I did believe that we were doing something good. Towards the end of the deployment, I started to kind of return to my more cynical kind of state on the whole thing. Mostly just because I saw like all the contractors and all the, like we were spending so much money. Like somebody was clearly getting very rich, but it wasn't us. But then, yeah, 2000.
He said he was in Iraq, right? Dude, the amount of money that was being spent in Afghanistan it was unbelievable amounts of fucking money, bro.
2006 comes in Ramadi, and I mean, at that point, I became very,
okay.
Well, I don't even know if I was, let me rephrase. At the time, I didn't really think about it much. I mean, when you're in it and you're just doing the work and every day is a slog and your friends
You're not reflecting.
No. I mean, you might spend a lot of time being bitter because you haven't slept in 3 days and some colonel just came down and told you that like your boots were dirty. Like there's a lot of being angry at everything. But there is but you're part of your unit. You're around the guys that you love and that you care about, and you're all kind of in it together. And there is a deep sense, I would say, of like camaraderie and community that you get from that. That I mean, I certainly got from it.
That period, I imagine, was really hard. Just
looking back on it.
Yeah. And you have been diagnosed with PTSD. You've talked about that. When you look back now, when do you think you started to suffer from that? Because I was also diagnosed from with PTSD. And for me, I can remember exactly what happened and that caused the sort of cascade. What was it for you?
It was 2006, and it wasn't a specific moment. I'll just be. I think. Okay, that's not actually true. Fuck. Oh man.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wait, did she ask him what was this thing that gave him PTSD? Was that the question?
That caused the sort of cascade.
Yeah, okay. That is a pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy question. You're kind of asking somebody what was the most traumatic moment of your entire life. Can you explain it? Yeah.
What was it for you? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The problem. No, I don't want to say anything about the woman, actually. I was going to make a white woman joke. Never mind. I don't know her background enough to insult her, so.
In 2005, my vehicle got hit by an IED outside a place called Karma, north of Fallujah. And it was myself and my best friend was in the back of the truck. Another Marine was driving. And, we drove over an IED, blew the truck up. We all got knocked unconscious. I come to, whole front of the truck is ripped off. I thought we had engine trouble. I was all like discombobulated. I ran around to the back of the truck and there's my friend. He's alive, but a piece of shrapnel is like come up under his helmet and ripped a lot of his head off. And, I'm 20 and this guy's my best friend. We went to infantry school together. We came to the fleet together. We were thick as thieves, real close. And I just remember, and I was a combat lifesaver. So like I got this training on like how to, but they never told me what to do.
Isn't this kind of question okayish for a political candidate to see how they articulate their most traumatic experience? I don't think I would ever try to litigate an emotional experience or have one in public because way too many fucking retards have absolutely no fucking idea what it's like to ever go through a fucking traumatic experience, and they will judge you on every single part of your reaction to it in ways that are not conducive to anything remotely okay. They'll see a laugh or a giggle and they'll assume that you thought it was a fucking joke. They'll see you like that. We all respond a little differently. Like sometimes it's like this kind of thing versus like just a cry. And so some people think you're getting ready for fake tears instead of, it's just not. I think the public is fucking retarded. I would never even waste my fucking time doing this. I think it's I'm not knocking him or anything. I think it's kind of a wild question from her. I mean, if they want to explore this, they might have okayed the question for her. I hate watching the public respond to somebody having like an experience. I remember for like the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, like everybody said that he was definitely faking that. And it's like, even if Rittenhouse went to that rally because he wanted to murder people, and even if every single part of it was intentional, this kid was like, was it 17 or 18 when he shot, when he killed the two people or whatever? Even if he had intended to do all of that, it's still pretty likely that the dude is fucking traumatized. That's an experience that most military people, most cops will never be in their entire life. It's just a crazy situation to be in. So like, people are like, oh, he's definitely faking. It's like, it's fucking wild. I don't know, but whatever.
When you're like looking at brains,
Mm.
and I remember standing there being like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, and this is my best friend, and I'm like, and I'm supposed to save him, but I have no idea how to even do that. And then luckily this guy, Doc Huey, spectacular Navy corpsman, comes running up and starts immediately going to work and saves his life. And he survives, but has some pretty significant, it was a significant head wound. And, you know, it happened. I was, of course, distraught because he was my best friend and I'm a kid and, you know, and
it's scary.
It's very scary. And then we also like came under fire. So like all this is happening and there's also a gunfight going on. So then I got to go like get in the gunfight for a while and we get the vehicle back. We drop him off at the medical station and then like I'm in the back of the truck just like cleaning the blood out and like mopping it up. And I just remember there was a moment and they were like, well, we got to go back on patrol in like 3 hours. And you're just like, yep. So there was like a hardening at that point for me where I was like, you don't actually get to do this. You don't get to engage with it because if you do, you're going to be worthless and you can't be worthless out here. The whole point of this is like to be effective at your job. You're not going to let down your fellow Marines. And I realized looking back on it now, like that was, because I saw frankly worse things after that. There was much more horrific violence. I saw people in far worse physical, far more death, awful stuff. But like that was like the first time it happened to me. And I think, you know, we got back from that deployment and, you know, with the young Marines, we all drink a lot. We all party a lot, you know, high risk behavior is pretty standard for young Marines. But when I got back from my Ramadi deployment in 2006, in between my second and third deployments, that was when I know that I was absolutely self-medicating and drinking heavily, really not wanting to engage with like feelings and emotions, becoming very emotionally distant. I had like a girlfriend, the relationship totally fell apart because I was just a wreck of a human being. Sadly, that kind of remained sort of the case for a while. After that, not being a very emotionally connected human being. And but I think it all starts back then.
You end up serving quite a few more tours. You go to Afghanistan, and then in 2018 you go as a military contractor to Afghanistan.
Yeah, for 6 months. Didn't last very long.
I mean, how had your views at that point evolved from that first letter that you wrote home to your mom to then?
I mean, it's entirely. They had changed into something else entirely different. When I went back in 2018, I didn't believe in any of it. I went back in 2018 because I was broke and lost, and I had no idea what to do with myself and my skills. Because all I'd ever really done was carry guns for a living. And my friend of mine was just like, hey man, I'm on a contract at Kabul. We don't do anything. All we do is lift weights. The ambassador doesn't really go anywhere, so we don't really have to do much driving around. He's like, the pay's pretty good. It's not bad. Mm. So I went over for 6 months, and at that point, whatever disillusionment was became something much deeper because then I'm in Kabul, and I'm like seeing it I'm like at the embassy and seeing it from the high side. And I was like, oh my God, 7 years. 7 years I haven't been in this country and no new ideas. And we're out there dropping bombs on people's houses. There are special operations units kicking in people's doors in the middle of the night. It's all the violence is still happening, and nobody down here has an inkling of what to do or what we're even attempting to do. And so I quit, moved back to Sullivan, bought a 19-foot Seaway skiff, started farming oysters and decided I never wanted to look back, and I wanted to get as far away from all of it as humanly possible.
When you look back at that, do you feel angry that you were part of that violence? Do you feel, do you regret that?
Okay, link me the, where's Whick at? Jesus Christ. Moot is streaming it. Well, doesn't Whick have a stream? What do you mean?
We're going to ask all these brave soldiers to sound off, give us their opinions. We're going to start with Jola. Jola, go ahead.
He's
open
quiet.
us up.
Fuck you guys. He's quiet. And you guys never spam this chat. Fuck you. I hate all of you.
So we cannot survive in a political where Republicans walk around dropping big piles of shit everywhere, and then we freak out whenever a Democrat forgets to wipe good enough. So right now, Graham Platner, in general, he has around, I would say, 1% of the controversy of Donald Trump. But when we talk about the Democratic version of Trump, which I take some of those criticisms and comparisons, this guy at least was actually in active combat. You know, he saw his friend right next to him get blown up by an IED. He has a reason to be a little bit messed up. Donald Trump was born that way. Donald Trump was born saying his little 1-year-old daughter has sexy legs. He's a freak. Yeah, thank you.
Did he say that? 1-year-old daughter?
Thanks for being here. We'll get into it as we go. Mooton, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm blue no matter who. Graham's got some controversy, but we're still in the primaries, so we got one more day left to shit talk him.
One
and
more
go through
day.
all of our grievances, etc. But I do think, I guess, once the nomination is secured, I think if you were working on any of the other campaigns, like Miller's, that you should have to continue on and go and help Graham's campaign too. I think you should give it the same energy that you gave the other nomination that you were excited for.
Okay, well, thank you for being here. We'll get into it. Hutch.
I'm pretty maximally blue no matter who. I have kind of a reputation of biting some pretty insane bullets. So, of course, that applies to Platner. I think I'd draw the line at kind of sanitizing what I think are the obvious problems. I think it's kind of patronizing to voters to pretend like these problems are not problems. So I'm going to be honest when people ask my opinion about him, but I'm not going to back away from my principle, which is that the structure of the Senate, the composition of the Senate, whoever controls the majority is an issue that is so much bigger than one particular candidate. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Well, thank you. And we will get into it. PvP, are you with us? You're muted on your end, sir. We'll go back to him. Tolly, give us your thoughts.
Oh, God.
Hello, I am Tolly. I am a registered independent, Republican-leaning, voted Democrat my entire life before the 2024 election. I think that blue, no matter who, is completely coherent and defensible. However, we saw what that type of thinking that many people on this panel today will acknowledge did to the Republican Party. I don't think trying to rerun the 2016 playbook is a good idea. I think also people are discussing this race as though it is about the Senate or kind of standing by principles and morality. The thing that I don't think people have really considered is it's entirely possible that Graham Platner wins Maine and the Dems still remain the minority in the Senate. And then you just have Graham Platner there as part of your problem. I wish that the Republicans, way before I was, leaning towards their movement, had made better decisions. And I hope the Democratic Party does not tie themselves to a really erratic and untrustworthy anchor like Graham Platner.
Okay, thank you. We'll get into it as we go. PvP.
Please tell me my mic is working this time.
It is working this time. Go ahead, give us what you got.
So I told Whick that I was coming on this panel as a pissed off independent. And I'm not going to throw a bunch of heat at people. I'm not here to scream at you guys, but I stand by that as a description of why I showed up. I'm not that interested in doing these blood sports anymore, but this particular race, this particular candidate speaks to me in a way that I think is kind of important, and I bring a little bit of a perspective that maybe isn't usually on these panels. I've been a registered independent for my entire adult life. I
So
did
brave.
vote Kamala, so if the question is, have I voted blue no matter who? Yes, I have done that, but I have never asked anybody to do that because I'm an independent and I am not a partisan. I am not a Democrat. I did that through gritted teeth because I was not happy about that candidate, but I would play ball because that is what the moment demanded. In this moment right now, I am looking at a candidate who is risking dragging down every other Democrat with him.
Really,
I'm
though?
looking at a
Why?
candidate who is flawed on a level that I can barely express in words. And in this moment, if you want me to take you seriously, then you need to take seriously every flaw that this candidate is bringing with him. If you don't take it seriously, then all that tells me is that you are a partisan and that you haven't thought that hard about this, and that probably you're incredibly foolish because you're failing to understand that this candidate is going to affect other candidates that are not him.
Why?
That is every other
Do they have
Democrat
to?
on the ballot. So if you actually care about a Senate majority or a House majority, then you need to get your shit together and you need to be prepared to actually answer these questions about this particular candidate, because without an answer to them, you're risking everything else for what? Because you don't even have an answer. Okay. That's where I'll leave it.
We'll get into it, I'm sure. And last but not least, Alice, please.
Hi, I agree with the premise, blue no matter who. But to me, to be meaningfully blue is to be meaningfully committed to egalitarianism in a way Graham Platner has not proved. And the utility of blue no matter who is to pick winners no matter what in a way I do not think he can do. There's still time to replace him, and we should consider it. Until then, I think any positive advocacy for this man is doing far more harm than good.
Okay, with that, let's get into it.
Alice, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you, I hear what you're saying about like there's still time to replace him. So even though the primary is tomorrow night, I think the deadline is July 13th at 5 p.m.
13th at 5 p.m. Yep.
Yeah, when it's locked in according to Maine's laws when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so once he becomes locked in, as I suspect he will, would your opinion shift?
Can I jump in off that? And I don't want to take away your answer, ma'am. Please do. But Hutch, if you don't mind, I will jump in on this conversation.
Hold on, just PvP. Can you let her answer the question and then?
Yeah. Sorry.
The guy's name is PvP.
Right
How's he supposed to resist?
Yeah.
Promise. Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so after that lock-in date, I think there's more of an argument for it. However, even then, especially considering what I think is likely heavier stuff coming down on him, it's not the best use of our time to spend any energy positively advocating for him. That's kind of like you get what you get. Good luck to him. I think the more we push harder and center that as a topic, the more it sabotages other races.
What gives you the sense that there's a meaningful path to replacing him? Because, I mean, I guess for me, if I would have seen more Senate Democratic senators like publicly rebuke him or try to push him out, then I feel like maybe I would hold out some hope. When it came to like Biden, there was a lot of motion. There was a lot of very high profile Democrats that were sort of leaving that door open. And I'm just not seeing that with Platner. So I guess I'm just resigned to him being the nominee. I just don't see a meaningful path to replace him at this point.
I mean, he was even talking to Schumer, right?
Well, this is why I wanted to jump in, Hutch, and it's around this exact line of questioning.
Why are they ignoring my boy?
When the other side was opening up, I expected you were going to be the most reasonable. So I promise I'm not trying to hijack the conversation, but you got us kind of started on a good note here. So I want to ask you, do you know whether or not Maine runs open or closed primaries?
I believe they're closed primaries.
They're not. And this is why I wanted to jump in here, sir, because if you're asking me, is there a path to fix this? Here's the answer to that. Maine ran closed primaries until last cycle, which means all sorts of adult independents. And in the registration numbers for Maine, it's about 1 in 3 voters, 1/3 of Maine voters are registered independent, and a lot of them probably don't know that they can vote in primaries. They can. They just can't vote in both.
Is he implying that what other candidate could possibly?
How do you do anything about this? You're saying that you don't see any path to preventing his nomination, and I understand that. I'm not saying that our goal tonight is prevent his nomination, but if you're asking what is the answer to that, the answer is: have you asked independents to vote? Have you encouraged them to get involved in the process?
When I ask if you guys see a path to replacing him, I don't mean theoretically. I mean realistically, do you see a path?
Yes.
Like I just don't see.
Do you think the polling? Do you think the polling that they're all using is dependent on Democratic primary voters, or do you think it's based on a blended mix of Democrats and independents? Because I'm going to tell you that I'm pretty sure that the first question they ask you is, "Are you registered Democrat?" No, hang up.
Yeah, if somebody else wanted to jump in, I feel like I've been speaking.
I think Bernie Sanders
I think
still
it's
win. Yeah.
It's very unlikely for Platner to be replaced as the nominee. But you bring up an interesting point for people in the media. Really, I see more than actual politicians. There are some select Democratic politicians who are taking, a more courageous stance against Platner. But there are notable people in the media on CNN, on MS Now, ABC, whatever, who have issues with Platner. It is interesting, to your point, that they have not raised this. That this year, for the first year, Maine has open primaries, and that independents could actually vote in the primary and try to change this. But I think, to Hutch's point and to maybe everyone's point, I think it is just very unrealistic for him to be replaced at this point.
I would listen to those criticisms.
This guy will 100% have a screaming crash out in this panel, guaranteed. Where's my poly market vote? Oh, that should be my first sponsor play. Fuck.
So one of the big issues is that many of those people were extremely pro like Andrew Cuomo with the scandals. Like the women involved in the NYT piece recently, many of them advocated for political prisoners who are here on visas if they criticize Israel and write like a pro-Palestinian op-ed. Like that one a woman did HamsterHawk after she got kidnapped by that band of ICE thugs. They were in favor of that, and they're in favor of lying about the 2020 election. So when many of the people who are making the criticisms are also very flawed.
What does that have to do with Graham Platner shoving her and locking her into a closet after ripping her out of a... Like, this is the thing that Hutch is trying to say. You can say blue no matter who. I'm gonna hold my nose. You don't have to try to denigrate all of the people who were allegedly victims of his and downplay just how bad of a person he seems to be based on the character that he's proven, not just 10, 15 years ago, but in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of his life. Why the need to go down this road? It's not necessary to defend him in this way.
I agree. You shouldn't be attacking any victim.
Hold on, PvP. Let Jola finish. And then
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When it comes to believing all women, we should always start at that point so we don't just reject anything outright. Now, when it comes to the article about Graham Platner, I believe I saw Rokana talking about this and a few other Democrats. I think it's okay to accept that he was, a bad person coming out of the military. One of the biggest things that he talks about, whether you think it's genuine or not, is about him finding community, finding service, finding his wife, and finding a better life for himself after serving and being abused by our war machine in Iraq.
That he signed up for voluntarily and was excited to go and kill people, and up until 2020 was saying that he absolutely volunteered and was happy about his service. And then he went to go volunteer, and then he went to go volunteer after that as well.
American soldiers.
I'm just saying, okay, so this is the big issue. When you have Donald Trump being the biggest piece of shit this planet has ever known, you have like in the Senate,
you
Tommy
can hate Donald Trump without
when you have like
defending
Tommy Tuberville
Platner.
advocating for the annihilation of all Muslims after Muslims get shot in a mosque, when you have Republicans being deplorable human beings, no one's going to listen to you guys crying, crying about this. Because the standard is gone now because of Trump politics. If Republicans want things to be better, they got to make things better again. They ruin the standard themselves.
Okay, I want to hear from.
They need to make things better in the Democratic primary.
Please, I want to hear from PvP, and then I want to hear from Alice, and then if Mooton's got some thoughts, and Hutch as well.
I want to at least be polite enough to give one back to my opponents here. As far as I remember from the New York Times article, she indicated that she was pushed into a room, not a closet. I think it's kind of important for us to be careful about our language here because we don't want to be claiming things that are stronger than what has actually been asserted. That said, pushing somebody into a room and shutting the door behind them is not necessarily that much better than pushing them into a closet. But I do think that the framing is important. And for what it's worth, I don't even need the New York Times article to prove that Graham Platner is a liar about critically important issues of character, so I will open the floor back up.
Alice,
it is choice to open the floor? King.
I'm a little curious to dive into more, I guess, later whenever it's convenient, about what the path to replace him, what we mean by that, whether that's the demand to replace him, or like who will do it, or like any strategy around that.
I just think it's totally unrealistic for anybody to come within 24 hours and replace him. I understand that
well, July 13th
still on the
is
ballot.
what we're talking about.
Sure, I guess, but why do you want him replaced?
Because I don't think he respects women. There's reason to believe there's even more allegations that make him more unelectable regardless. And I do not trust him to reliably legislate for even the goals that he claims he has.
I want him to be replaced because I have serious doubts that he's going to be able to weather the storm. I mean, I'll support him if, assuming he's locked in, but I would prefer a generic Democrat at this point.
Who would you want to
replace?
We all assume that there's going to be an October surprise, right? Does anybody on the panel not think that there's going to be an October surprise?
What can be more surprising other than criminal allegations? Which, if it was criminal, if there's corroborated evidence,
there are
here,
already allegedly there are 2 women who were known to the New York Times who were not published in this article with claims of sexual assault against him, and according to Lindsay Fifield, the named alleged victim of Graham Platner, according to her, they are currently weighing their options of how to present their story to the public. So yes, there is very likely more to come out.
Who's
going to
pay the most for the story?
I am not a gambling man. And I don't want to make this bet, but if you put a gun to my head, I would bet you money we're going to see Graham Platner's penis by the end of this, okay? That does not make me happy to say, but that is my realistic assessment of what we currently know about him and where we are probably headed.
I was going to say that could get him more votes. I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know either.
I just think we're probably at critical mass with this guy. To me, when I look at Platner, what worries me is that it does feel very familiar to me. It looks a lot like MAGA. You don't even have to squint your eyes that much. And so I don't know. I feel like if SA claims came out, I feel like we would see a similar reaction where
would you still support him?
If he's locked in. Yeah.
One of his recent quotes
hang on,
was,
Hutch.
I'm not going to
hold on, both of you, please. Well, Hutch. So even if he had like 2 rape allegations against him, or grape allegations against him, you'd still support him?
Yes. Yeah.
Is there a limit to the number of grape allegations that you would be like, okay, maybe this is too much grape?
Maybe theoretically. I mean, it would have to be really, 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 really bad.
I mean, my favorite screamer, Hutch, did say several times that he would vote for Platner even if it came out that he murdered a man 20 years ago and got away with it. And I know you're being tongue in cheek to an extent. But no, I think that is the calculation. And listen, I think to be fair, and again, this is just so obviously reminiscent of 2016, right? This is like I could shoot a man on Fifth Avenue and people would still vote for me. And Platner might be proven right by this. And I think this is just, if it was a mistake for Republicans to vote Trump in 2016, I think it will also be a mistake to vote Platner in 2026.
But you voted for Trump in 2024, so clearly it doesn't matter. Don't let people beat you over the head with your own standards when they don't have any. We have to stop this from happening, okay?
Well, I mean, I'm a partisan Democrat. I think the Republican Party is pretty uniquely dangerous right now, and they've been for years, but it's just gotten so much worse. And so, to me, the difference between having a Senate majority and not having a Senate majority, I'd be willing to look past just like so many.
Doesn't even guarantee a Senate majority.
Well, you can't. I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, right? Like I can't.
I do.
Flip in order to get this.
Or I mean, Kyle Kalinske does. Fuck.
Mooton. Same question to you, because I've heard Hutch talk about this, but I haven't heard you talk about this. How, like, say the sexual assault allegations did drop and they were credible and they were severe. Would you still support him even after that?
As my good friend said, I would support Hitler over the current Republican Party as long as they would vote Democrat 90% of the time.
True.
I don't care. I want the committees. I want.
Oh, snap! So you like Fetterman?
Fetterman
more than a Republican
Democrat most of the time. Do I want him primaried? Yes, but am I happy with him right now? Absolutely, I'd have him over any Republican. Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Wait, just to be really clear, really quick, are we talking about, because with the Fifield story, New York Times said they read her diary, they read her text messages, read her social media, they found zero corroboration whatsoever. So are you saying that? So that's one of the reasons why it's difficult.
That's not exactly what they said. And again, she'll be able
word
to
for word they
publish
said
all
that.
of this.
For Hutch,
am I crazy? Or does her cadence and the way she speaks and everything just a little bit sound a little bit like Lav? Am I like sometimes when she comes in, I feel like okay.
Moot, if you found out 2 years ago there is video evidence of him assaulting someone, are you saying it would go that far? If there's actual evidence,
is he gonna vote Democrat?
Okay, just checking.
What if he made a grape tape?
Like, Jesus.
He not only raped a woman, but he recorded it and he's been saving this in his house. And there's evidence that he watches it periodically 3 times a week to get off. Would that change your assessment?
It's hard to know where the line is, but there is a line that a candidate could cross where it would have such a drag effect on the rest of the party that I would be in favor of someone like Collins winning, but I don't think we're there yet. Cross that bridge when we get there, but it would have to be really, really bad. And again, just like having control of those subcommittees, during the second part of Trump's second term, that's a really big deal. I mean, they're going to be able to issue subpoenas.
Supreme Court nominees.
If all of the other states go the way that you want them to also, it's a huge gamble. And it's not even even like his race is determinative in the way the presidential race is determinative in that way. He could win, and you guys could still not have control of the Senate. And then it's like everyone holding their nose. I'll let the rapist, murderer, or whatever in, and then we can get control of the Senate. And just one more thing, and hold on, let me just say this really quickly. Just in terms of Susan Collins, I understand the animosity towards the Republican Party. I think this negative polarization is really unhealthy for our country, so I wish it weren't so. But Susan Collins, people point to the way that she's voted under Trump and say, oh, she has something like a 90, even 95% voting record of voting for Trump. But under the Biden administration, she had a 50% voting record of voting with Biden. So she is not the evil caricature of a partisan Republican that everyone wants her to be. And again,
50%? You think that's good? It's like putting a pulse ox on somebody and the blood oxygenation level is like 75%. You're like, oh, it's not the best, but like, they're okay. This person is dying, by the way. Like, what kind of a... Do you think that what kind of a comparison is that? I don't know. Never mind. Okay.
Again, kicking her out of this seat does not even guarantee that you guys will have control of the Senate, but it does guarantee that you have a guy with all of this baggage in your party now, and it's hard to get people out once they're in. We know this.
To me, Tali, this is the weakest part of your argument because we don't have a crystal ball, so we just can't know. We have to flip 4 seats. We have to we have to run perfect defense.
It's a bargain. Let Hutch finish.
Real quick, we have to defend Georgia. We have to defend Michigan. Or is Michigan? Would we have to flip it? Is that a red seat?
Michigan?
Don't let Hassan hear that.
No, it's a Democratic seat right now.
We have to flip Alaska. We have to flip Maine. We have to flip Texas.
We could do it without Maine, but it's harder to see. You have to really kind of squint to see the path. And we don't operate with certainty. So it's possible, that we elect him, we're still in the minority, and then he's this liability. But I can't think like that. I just have to maximize.
I would rather him than a Republican, even if he is a liability. He's more often to vote with the Dems. He's going to help with stopping Supreme Court nominees and all of that. I mean, it's a win-win. It's a win.
If I may, to Hutch or to Mooton, right? Because you seem to be making a similar point here, and you were.
Wait, I don't get the shitty map. This is saying that for the Senate, sometimes they might be red and blue. How are you supposed to know how many senators they have from each party?
Both very, very open and direct about your sort of answer. So again, I'm not giving you.
Don't let us on clip that one. Oh shit!
A hard time here. I just would like a straight answer. So yes, we don't have a crystal ball, but I would like to pose to you that when you say, "Oh, well, whatever, he's a liability," would you like every Democrat to have to answer the question, "How much did you know about the Nazi tattoo? You think he's a Nazi?" It doesn't even matter, right? Between all of us on this panel, it doesn't even matter what the actual substance of that is. Do you want every other Democrat to have to answer for that for 6 years?
No, of course not. I don't like him as a candidate. It's the least bad option for me. I really wish
it's less bad for you to have every Democrat up and down the ballot for 6 years answer the question, "Are you a Nazi?"
When has any senator ever been that important? What is this world where somebody's running for the Senate and some of the states like, what do you think about you're running for the Senate of California? What about the Senate? What about the senator in Maine? How do you feel? It's like, who the fuck? Does this happen?
Get the Senate some other way?
I can forgive a little hyperbole, but I don't think the senator's going to be asked for 6 years straight if they knew about his fucking.
Just real quick.
Kind of a big
but you
one,
understand?
Right? It's kind of a bomb that you want to not necessarily throw underneath your own team.
Yeah, of course, but nonetheless, the main voters have. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the reasons that at least I'm hesitant to support this man, even if he gets locked.
Oh, true. Just hit him with the what? What? You hit him with the.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's the first time I'm hearing of it.
Right after July 13th is one of the problems we're going to have is everyone, because this race has been nationalized. Everyone's like, Alaska is going to run against Platner. Texas is going to run against Platner, right? All the seats that we need to keep are going to be running against Platner, right? That's what they're going to be painting every single Democrat candidate as, and they'll put out all the endorsements that other Democrat senators and other Democrat politicians and influencers have been trotting out and say these are all indicative of what the Democratic Party is, and I think he's going to be a net drain on the ticket.
I'm just so curious. I'm trying to think. Does this really happen? Where the rest of the party is attacked by some senatorial, is that what you would say, candidates in other states? I feel like maybe if the president directly endorses them, maybe. But otherwise, I feel like races are a bit more local than that.
The Republican votes, Whick. They like the tattoo, probably.
True.
He's white too. He has that white power with him. So
they're gonna be excited. They're gonna be like, all right, you know what? They got
Dude,
that guy.
Alaska's
He's
gonna
a
be lit,
boy.
though. Yeah.
I also don't want my party.
Hey, unironically, I agree with you guys. That is probably one thing that Platner has going for him. He will probably pick up the racist dickhead vote. Okay, but I don't think that's something you should be proud of or cheering about.
My whole premise is you don't have to. Some of the defensive Platner that I've been seeing on social media is truly fucking insane. It seems like the populist brain rot has really metastasized, and it just looks so similar. It cannot be overstated just how similar it is to MAGA, the same exact 1-to-1 defenses. You don't have to do that. I think you can treat the voters like adults and just give them the straight story. And frankly, Whick, I just don't think the Republicans have a strong leg to stand on when it comes to candidate equality. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but we're not competing against the Republicans. Yep. We're competing against the couch. And
no, but you said that the Republicans are going to try to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to draw comparisons, and they're going to be effective at it. And the people who will stay home, there are going to be a lot of those. Right?
But my point is, I don't know how effective they can be when the Republican Party has had a candidate equality problem that is worse than the Democrats for years now.
Because I want to put it right to your face, okay? We got a candidate equality problem over here in Maine. We got a candidate equality problem in Texas with Paxton, right?
Yeah.
But we also have a candidate equality problem in Texas with Tallarico. And all I disagree is a little tip of the scale, and yes, Paxton will beat Tallarico.
I think Tallarico is going to win Texas, and I think that little adorable Christian twink is going to be president one day. That's how strong of a candidate
I can go president, but I think he will win Texas.
I'm not here.
Like, are you telling me that somebody's going to be running for Senate in fucking Texas, and they're going to be running ads about Platner? I guess. I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but I feel like this is going to be such a minority of the spending. That just seems wild to me. Or in some other state that's not as like national news, and they're going to be running anti-Platner ads. I don't know, man.
I'm here to talk shit on Tallarico. I'm just saying in the space that we're talking about Platner, that all
he's not. You called him a problematic candidate, though. He's not a problematic candidate. He's fine. He's a strong candidate.
People argue his like comments on like trans kids or whatever is going to be problematic, but I think that it's a nothing burger overall.
I agree with that. It's mostly a nothing burger. I just think it's that Texas isn't necessarily particularly what's the word here, receptive to blue messaging. Like, Texas isn't necessarily unflippable, but you need to have the right message. And if we're talking about what is the totality of circumstances with Platner, the totality of circumstances is he's going to affect other races.
I have a question for everybody.
But go ahead.
Just everybody, because this might help us a little bit lead the conversation. So, who do you think is a more deplorable political figure? I want everyone to answer. Graham Platner or Ken Paxton?
Paxton.
Don't know. They're both.
I'm not even sure I understand the question because you phrased it as deplorable political figure, and that makes it like 1,000 times.
Okay, bad. I don't think it's bad. You know what I mean?
Who's worse, Graham Platner or Paxton?
What's the point?
Yep. I am going to go ahead and bite the bullet and say I think Platner's worse specifically because he lies about things that he's been caught lying about. It's not even about lying about things you don't want to get caught about. It's about lying.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary independent voter. This is them. This is the legendary independent. When people are given a ballot or a polling question and they're like, I'm undecided on these two. There they are. Tally over here is like, oh, he's kind of cooking actually, maybe. Yeah, Jesus.
Lying about things that you've already been caught about. If Paxton has done the same stuff, then I will go ahead and say equally bad. But if I'm picking between the two based on what I already know, Platner is worse because he lies when he has already been caught lying.
What's the point of this? Would you rather?
Hey, y'all, fuck. The next question should be, someone should ask if you had to vote, if you had to vote for a senator and it was Platner versus Paxton to represent the Dems, ? Who would you choose? Would this guy really say Paxton would be like a better, less harmful candidate?
Because we're talking about Tallarico being an underwhelming candidate. I'm just saying, like, when we have moderates or centrists, and some of you announce yourselves that way, it's just like, why are Republicans able to run big piles of dog shit? Like, Ken Paxton looks like he was sent from hell and the devil melted half of his face, and he's a terrible person. He cheats on his family. He's so corrupt. He steals $1,000 pens from other freaking lawyers because he's such an asshole. And meanwhile, Tallarico is a great candidate. It just makes no sense.
Well, yeah, but they don't really care, so they'll throw attacks against us, so we don't vote.
Also, the Republican Party, their bread and butter is like attacking women and minorities, so it's really hard for them to like a white guy like Graham Platner, and that's the white privilege part for Graham, which I definitely agree with, and probably why he's winning in Maine, which is like one of the whitest places, obviously in the country. So it's definitely going to help him, but I think that makes it harder. I think it genuinely does make it harder for them to weaponize Graham Platner.
I think Democratic Senate candidates and other Democrats in other races should just throw Platner under the bus. Just who was was it Warner? Was it Warner? Just straight up say like, yeah, this is disturbing. This is, but ultimately this is up to the voters of Maine. It's not a lie. You know what I mean?
100%. Like for once, I'm actually straight up with you 100%. I'll throw him under the bus, and it's up to the voters of Maine.
Yeah.
Say what Moot said. Say what Moot said every time. Like Republicans should love him. Just say that like over and over again.
That's why I don't think there's any virtue in this blue no matter who like advocacy for Graham Platner, because what we're seeing is just the rise of MAGA, and the more we center him, the more he's just becoming a role model to a really problematic strain of slopulism, and it's getting sexist really, really, really fast. I'm already getting called bitch a lot, like over this week, like speaking up on this. Like it's here. It's coming faster than we think. Throw him under the bus.
The slopulists, the socialists hate women and minorities.
Distance him. We should focus our energy on other things. He deserves no additional defense that he can gain with his own campaign in the state of Maine.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Moot.
If you had to vote for Senator either Platner or Paxton, who are you choosing?
Platner.
No, and I don't even think that's a fair question. What state do they represent? They're running in 2 different states, dude.
I mean,
Ask him if they were the same
senator, so they're going through.
Oh
to
no,
represent the whole United States,
that's
kind of, right? At least
absolutely
they're gonna
not the same
represent
question. If we're asking
If you can't even engage, oh my god.
if they're representing
Okay,
Maine, or if we're asking if they're
sure. Let's say if they're
Texas.
representing Maine.
He's gonna say, well, there are different political parties over there. Oh my god.
Who would you rather vote for? That's really going to change your opinion, which state it is?
Absolutely, because
Okay,
I think it would be
why?
really, really, really easy to replace Graham Platner in Maine. So if we're asking that question about Texas,
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
much harder question for me, because now I'm really thinking about that. But if you're asking me that about Maine, then no, that's significantly easier.
Should we go for Platner there? I assume, right?
So who would you vote for?
In Maine?
Sure.
No, I'm. Don't say sure. It's your question.
I've already asked it twice now. Who would you vote for in Maine?
He would say Platner
Okay,
for
no,
sure, at least.
hey, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just trying to be clear here. In Maine, I would probably refuse to vote. Is my answer.
Okay.
And again, I'm saying that full-throatedly. No.
It was even a stupid, it wasn't even the best question. He could have just had to give me and say, oh, I guess I'd vote Platner. What? This is the centrist, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. Really? Really?
No waffling, no trying to trick around your question.
I appreciate it.
Because I am an independent, I am not a Democrat, I am not a partisan, and if you gave me that choice in the state of Maine, my answer would be, I'm staying home, it doesn't make a difference. I have two
But this doesn't matter.
complete flaming jackasses, and it is
Unreal,
not
dude.
helpful to me in any way whatsoever to put my thumb on that scale, because whether I get what I want or I don't get what I want, I will have tarnished my own reputation by having said that I was willing to have that person represent me. So I would vote third party,
No
I
lesser
would
of two
write in,
evils.
and
No
I know
lesser
my
of two
vote would
evils.
go to waste.
No
And I
lesser
would
of
do
two
that on
evils,
purpose.
guys.
Briefly, how do you feel like the second Trump term is going? Like, do you think
Pretty bad. And for what it's worth, I voted Harris, and I said that at the top of the.
No, but I'm saying like one of the reasons why it's so important for me that the Democrats take back the Senate is because of the oversight. Like they're going to be able to use that.
No, I understand that, but you need to understand there are voters that are like me, right? And I'm not here to say I am some paragon of how everybody who's like me is going to vote, right? But I was asked a tough question. If we were running
a tough
Platner
question
versus Paxton in Maine, how would you vote? And I gave you my honest answer. I would refuse to vote for either of them.
Right, but you said you're.
I just hate, dude. The political environment we exist in right now is just absolutely fucking unbelievable. Oh my god.
Your morals wouldn't let you like look at yourself in the mirror and say that you supported this candidate, but like I guess to me, I focus on the larger structural problem. Like, so would your morals allow you to look yourself in the mirror when you knew that this?
I'm not a partisan, Hutch.
No, I'm not saying anything about.
I'm not partisan. I'm not partisan. I'm not partisan. The independents love it. I'm not partisan. I'm not part of your political party, man. I'm an independent thinker, man. They're all the same, man.
His question, please.
That's why I asked you how do you feel about the Trump administration? You said it fucking sucks, and so like I'm asking you, do you think that the Trump administration right now needs oversight? Do you think that the Congress needs to rein this? Okay, so I don't understand how your morals wouldn't.
Congress is made of 535 people. One person does not fix or change that. It's full
majority.
of 535 fucking cowards.
A
It's
majority.
full of cowards.
Changes that.
Well, I think hold on. I think what's being missed and how we're talking past each other a little bit. And I think Alice may have touched on this earlier. It might have been Tally, one of the two. It's a gamble. It's a gamble to put our support, to put our backing behind this guy when it might not actually put a check on the power, right? And so we're betting that he's going to be able to A, beat Collins, which isn't necessarily the case, right? I do not. I think that Collins has won by being further behind than she is now, right, in the polls. And two, if he does win, will we win enough to flip the Senate? And those are two big gambles for people. And even like someone like me who hates Trump, thinks Trump is one of the worst presidents of all time and is doing damage to this country in a way that we will take generations to repair. I don't know. I don't know if I could pull that lever for him.
Yeah, but there's no we. There's no we, Whick. It's not up to us. It's up to the voters of Maine. Like, and they seem to be. Yeah, go ahead, Tali.
Sorry, I just want to ask a hypothetical because now I'm kind of interested to get at actually the way that people are weighing the morality of the alleged crimes in these matters. So back to the Ken Paxton versus Graham Platner scenario. They're both running in Maine or Texas. You can take them separately. What if they're both running in Democrats in a primary? Who are you supporting?
Platner.
Paxton.
What if they say again?
Wait, what?
If they're
You
both running
support
what?
Paxton if they both run blue?
As
If they're both
Democrats,
gonna
I
vote
agree with
Democrat?
that, obviously, because Paxton is not accused of physically.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything about politics. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything. I fucked up again. Hold on. Who is Paxton? He's running. Paxton was the attorney general under Abbott, right? The guy who was impeached. The guy who was helping Abbott ship off fucking over 100,000 illegal immigrants to other fucking places. Did I misunderstand the question? Hold on. I must have misunderstood it. Hold on. I must have misunderstood the question. I'm so confused right now. Hold on.
Sorry, I just want to ask a hypothetical because now I'm kind of interested to get at actually the way that people are weighing the morality of the alleged crimes in these matters. So back to the Ken Paxton versus Graham Platner scenario. They're both running in Maine or Texas. You can take them separately. What if they're both running in Democrats in a primary? Who are you supporting?
Support Paxton.
What if they were say again?
Hutch didn't understand the question. He just didn't understand the question. Hutch didn't understand the question.
If they're
You
both running
support
what?
Paxton if they both run blue?
No.
As
If they're both
Democrats,
gonna
I
vote
agree with
Democrat?
that, obviously, because Paxton is not accused of physically assaulting and
Oh
abusing
my
women.
God.
So yes, I agree with that. Yeah, my question is if they're
Hold on,
both running
just
in
real
a
quick before you
Democratic
go on,
primary.
I want to get everyone on record.
No. Hutch misunderstood the question. He was typing. Hutch, there's no way Hutch understood that question correctly.
This question. It's a good question.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, in the primary, in the Democratic primary, Mooton, Paxton versus Platner. Who you pulling that level for?
Oh, no. That's the question? Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Okay. It's like we burned too many bridges lately. I can't throw him on the Connor bus. No, he misunderstood. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a
I would vote for
Democratic
Platner.
primary.
I would vote for
Sorry,
Platner.
Easily.
Was Paxton involved in January 6th at all?
He was involved in so much stupid shit.
Assume that he's
How do you get impeached from Texas conservatives? He got impeached. The Senate acquitted him, but Jesus Christ.
running as a Democrat. He's a full-throated
yeah.
Democrat.
Yeah,
that
no,
you
but
believe
still,
that he
still the question
that
remains.
you believe that he will vote.
6? I don't actually know.
I don't know. about that
If
either.
he was involved,
Paxton was the AG when Texas was trying to not expropriate, what do you call it? Extradite like that doctor from New York for shipping like a Plan B pill or whatever, right? Was Paxton the one who initially was trying to argue for like the abortion bounty hunters that you could bro, there's but he misunderstood that. Hutch misunderstood that. No one else knows anything about Paxton. I understand.
January 6th, I'm voting Platner every time.
Right
I haven't got over Paxton much on stream because he's just like, that's just like a bad guy. It's like saying like, it's like you have like a good guy versus bad guy tournament coming up and somebody's like, can you rant off everything about Goebbels or whatever? It's like, no, I don't know the specific. I just know enough to know he's so bad. I don't even need to know that many specifics, right? Paxton is like that guy. 100%. Like,
let me help you answer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
Okay, if he
somehow.
wasn't, if he was not involved in January 6th, and he
he was AG when Texas was trying to challenge the election results. He led the charge. Was he the guy? Was he leading the? Did he file the Texas v. Pennsylvania case? Because I don't know if the state attorney general is the one who would be or if it would be something else. But this was when Texas didn't like, I think, the way that Pennsylvania did mail-in ballots, and they were like, "We're going to sue Pennsylvania because we don't like how that state is voting for president." It's bro. Oh my God, it's okay. Give me. It was filed by Paxton. This guy is actual. Oh my God, just look at him, bro. He looks like a bad guy. All the conservatives look like bad guys. They look like bad guys too. I'm sorry.
if he was a lifelong Democrat, even.
It doesn't really matter if he's a lifelong Democrat because I'm just weighing like the abhorrent shit that they've done.
Right. That's my point.
He was present. But it doesn't sound like he marched into the Capitol.
Well, he gave a speech touting his
did
unsuccessful legal effort to overturn the 2020 presidential.
Yeah, I go Platner then. That's easy.
I mean, he was like Paxton was impeached by his own party in the state legislature in Texas for bribery, just like open corruption. I mean,
not
he's
good.
So much worse. He's so much worse.
So much worse. Thank you, Hutch. Thank you.
Platner has a messy past. But Platner has a messy past. He's got some fucking messy interpersonal relationships.
He has a messy present.
He's got a. Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. But I'm just saying,
I
like
think
the
some
reason.
of these things, some of these things exhibit worse moral character. That's why I am actually surprised by these answers. If we're talking about the moral character of these people and not loading it with the parties, because again, I think it's completely logical and rational to make a blue no matter who vote.
Yep.
I did.
Oh, how could you even say that? Just fucking put Platner in a room without any women. Boom. Problem solved. Who cares? Oh my God.
Yikes, we're talking about moral character.
Woo!
Here, and you voted for him?
Yes, exactly. And I think that it was a huge mistake for
Ask her if Kamala would have been better. Ask her if Kamala would have been better.
Listen, this conversation is not about my personal political journey. We can have another conversation if you would like to. But I think as someone who voted for Trump in 2024 and I have very different opinions about the way that my vote looks now, you know, close to 2 years after, I still wish that Trump never won in 2016. I don't think any of this is healthy for our country, for our politics.
It's not, Tally. I'm not making the argument that Platner
let
is.
Hutch go. Let Hutch go. Then you can go after. Hutch, please.
I'm not making the argument that Platner is like good for the party. I don't think he's good for the party, but he is the candidate that the voters of Maine chose. So surely you can understand someone with the perspective of like a Democratic Party partisan who genuinely feels like the Republican Party are very dangerous. Like people are getting hurt because of these policies, because of these judges that are handing down these decisions. And so
not only
like, it's
not
a
only
different
can I
kind of moral
understand it.
calculation.
Not only can I understand
affected.
it, that's what I said at the top also. I think it's completely logical and rational. Not only can I understand it, I think Republicans and Republican-leaning independents are in a bit of a bind here because essentially this is what the Republicans do, is because you know it's bad to lose, that losing is losing, right? And that you should try to win at any cost, even if you have to hold your nose to do it. So yes, I agree, the Republicans are not in good standing to make this argument, but I'm asking each person here to like look into their own soul and to weigh these things and to think about what is best for this country. So yes, I do understand the calculation as a partisan to want
When you're a Democrat, you have to think about what's best for the country. When you're a Republican, just think about what's best for you and your party right now.
power for your party because you believe that there's existential threat in the opposite party. However, again, just especially, go ahead.
I was gonna say, ideally, someone like Platner wins, helps us win a majority, and then we have a strong nominee in 2028, someone who can maybe like begin to repair some of the damage, you know, to take off the attention from Platner. Like we need like a generational talent, someone who's perceived as an outsider, maybe like Ossoff. That's kind of like a.
I'm not running this election cycle. Sorry, Hutch. I forget. Well, you'll have to.
Just want to say, the thing I'm most scared of is Hamas and Alito, if the Dems don't win the Senate, retiring, and then Donald Trump getting 2 more Supreme Court nominee picks.
Yeah, that's just
that is a real possibility. Thomas is 76, about to be 77. Alito 75. So I'm definitely scared of that. I would almost vote for any Democrat at this point.
That's why I question your willingness to sign up with Mr. Liar Nazi.
Oh my God.
Is a demonstrated
he
liar.
seems like the one right now who is going to win and going
Hang
to be
on,
the one who can move
because
forward.
Hutch, it's
we don't have
wild.
data on polls since the most recent allegations dropped.
Oh my God!
What
I'm
do you think he's lying
sorry.
about? You think he's going
Cope,
to
that's a massive cope.
No,
I love all
the
my libs here, but that is a huge cope.
That the voters of Maine have already chosen him because the election isn't until fucking tomorrow, dude. So I'm the guy who's literally in here, and I described myself as the pissed off independent. So
do you want to bet $1,000 with 100 to 1 odds that he will win the primary tomorrow?
I am not saying that I am betting that he's going to not win the primary. I am saying
I'll
that
give you
I am here
100 to
to
1
very
odds.
explicitly press all of you to say, hey, if you actually care about Democrats, if y'all are the partisans that you say you are, then you
I tried, bro. I fucking tried.
I advocated for Jordan Wood months ago.
Hold on. I want to hear from Alice, then Mooton, then yeah, go.
Oh, I advocated for Jordan Wood months ago. There's 24 hours before the primary. Independents can come out and vote and do whatever they want in 24 hours. I don't give you good odds on that. There is until July 13th at 5 p.m. The chance for the Democratic Party to pressure him to step down, and the Democratic Party can appoint someone in his place.
That can't. That would be a nightmare. You can't do that. I'm so sorry. That would be a fucking nightmare.
Since those allegations came out,
You
he's running
can't.
not against Ken Paxton, but against a woman who is coded herself as a moderate and a reliable representative of the state. It's not looking good for Platner long term. Yeah.
I don't love his odds, but I tried. I've been saying for months this guy's a fucking bonehead, and like if the party was smart, then if the voters of Maine were smart, they would go a different way with it. But
But who? Why, the Democrats didn't put anybody up. Who was running against? Who was running against him besides the Mills? I mean, and she fucking got crushed, right? So I mean, what are you gonna say? They couldn't find another 80-year-old to run against him. It is what it is. Like.
Joel, jump in. You can be quiet.
Yeah, hold on. It's definitely Chuck Schumer's fault this whole thing happened. Chuck Schumer is the reason why Janet Mills came in and pushed out all of the other, promising candidates. There was Jordan Woods, Alice. Is it Wood or Woods? Do you know?
I think it's Wood.
Wood.
He switched to a Congress race.
Yeah, he's running for Congress now. And there was another candidate too who was an outsider. I forget. I think he owned like a brewing company. He was like an outsider business type person. I forget his name, but I saw his ad and it was pretty good. It was like a Mamdani type ad even at the time. And Schumer came in and gave no support to insurgent candidates, no support to grassroots candidates that might be promising for the future. No, he called whoever was on his. He has like a regular flip phone. Whoever is on a speed dial. He called up Janet Mills, and Janet Mills put no effort into her campaign. She did no events. She was not going to have a debate.
She didn't get any support.
She kind of gave up. Yeah, they couldn't raise any money, but they never really went hard to even try. They just put out messages about Platner being toxic, and that's just not going to grip voters as much as it did
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. I wouldn't fight you on that. I'm frustrated with Schumer.
But this is my question, though. This is my thing about the Democratic Party. Is one of the reasons why progressives are successful sometimes in these races is because they can find whatever talent. And no matter what you think about Platner, he knows how to campaign. He knows how to put an ad together. His voice, Hutch does a really good Platner voice on the stream. Definitely recommend checking that out. Probably the best Platner voice that I've seen so far. You got to practice that for everyone that has PDS.
They want to talk about my personal life, and they don't want to talk about policy in Maine.
Yeah, exactly. But like, why can the center of the party not find new candidates who are promising, put money behind them? Instead, we have like Jim Clyburn refusing to retire and refusing to allow other leaders to rise up in their races or even in the party.
I don't know why you say this when the centrist establishment wing just have by far a better track record when it comes to like running successful candidates and can win in competitive districts. I don't know where.
Isn't the reason Clyburn's not retiring the fact that like South Carolina isn't changing their maps because like if they did, South Carolina would probably like burn down. So I kind of
they did change their map.
They left.
No, I think you got a point, Mooton.
They left the
Clyburn is running for literally the same reason that Collins is.
I think South Carolina did get the votes or something to change their maps, and then for whatever reason they didn't. But I think they could, but they chose not to, I believe, because that Clyburn district I think was conservative.
Because they've been there for fucking ever, and they have seniority on their what the hell's the word for it? Their you know what I'm trying to say here.
It passed the House but not the Senate. Oh, is that what it was? I thought they got all the votes they needed in both houses, and they just didn't. They didn't change it for whatever reason.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Committees, thank you. There we go. They're senior on their committees. Clyburn is running because he's super senior on his committee in the exact same way that Collins is running because she's super senior on her committee.
Clyburn has a shitload of clout in South Carolina. He has the support of the voters in South Carolina.
I'm not disputing that, and I apologize for getting us derailed over me not remembering a word, but that's all I was getting at. Is that yes, of course, yes, he's running.
Did you see the beheading video in Ireland that just happened? No, I usually watch beheading videos after stream. Why the fuck would I have just seen a beheading video? What the fuck kind of question is that, bro? Go play some Stardew Valley. Jesus Christ, YouTube chatter.
Again, because he's got seniority in the exact same way that, yes, of course, Collins is running again because she has seniority. Remember, I'm not a partisan. I look at these things and I see them from both sides.
I'm not a partisan. I've actually found a way to feel more intelligent than both sides.
Sides of the aisle. Also, I'd like to hear more from Alice.
Well, let me run my panel. We'll get there, okay? I promise you.
No, I'm apologizing for being a jerk and taking too much time.
Wait, Hutch asked me a question. Can I respond to Hutch really quick about that?
That's where I was trying to take us before anyone else jumps in.
I would say to Hutch that some of those races were a result of progressives pushing centrist or more centrist candidates to be better.
Oh my God.
And like I think about the race of Nancy Pelosi's old district with a Scott Weiner, I believe his name is, being able to win. He's still a very progressive candidate. And Tallarico was seen as the more centrist candidate in Texas. And his interviews are like, we are the top versus the bottom. The billionaire class is paying everyone to not fight, to make us fight each other instead of fighting the real enemy, the rich billionaire class. So,
yeah, that's all the slopulous right now on the left hand right.
The rhetoric is being borrowed. John Ossoff talks about the Epstein class. He's a Jewish man, but often that line is called when Rokana says it or Platner says it as anti-Semitic. But that rhetoric is being used everywhere. The populist rhetoric, no matter what kind of populism it is. Even the centrist moderate candidates that are super successful, it seems like are they not adapting some of that like rhetoric at least, like Tallarico is?
It's another way that the Dems are following the Republicans down into hell. Yeah, it's another unfortunate turn in our.
I can't. Her voice is like eliciting a triggered response in me. Oh my God.
People like to have excuses for. People like to be able to blame other people and power and scary, conspiracies for their problems. And so it is very appealing for people to have scapegoats, whether that's the billionaire class or the deep state or the Epstein class or the Zionist class or any of these things. People like to have scapegoats for their problems. I agree these things are like, if we're talking just like purely pragmatically, I understand why people like Hutch say like, you lean into some of it, it's effective, it's gonna help you get power if you don't believe that these people are at real risk of actually going down this populist rabbit hole. But this is not healthy politics. That doesn't make it good. That doesn't make it productive. It doesn't mean that we should be rooting for it.
But my question would be then, but you compared like anti-Zionism and talk about Israel for everything, which I agree is bad with how like Hassan uses it, and also about like blaming immigrants and minorities. But we can tell in the data that those things are not like true, especially with immigrants and crime. But for the ultra wealthy, I think it is a more reasonable problem to be mad about that Elon Musk is going to be a trillionaire after he basically did currency and market manipulation to get to the point where he is in his career. And SpaceX right now is having a really weird.
Class warfare is bad. I don't support class warfare. I don't support any.
But it's happening from the top already in many ways.
That's a perspective. I disagree with you. I disagree with you that it's bad for Elon Musk to be superbly wealthy. That's a disagreement that we have.
But one man having much power is the question. And I'm saying versus immigration though. Versus immigration as an existential threat. I feel like wealth is more of isn't it more reasonable to be mad about wealth than immigration?
Yeah, but
I think it's reasonable to have a perspective.
Just real quick, I want to hear from Hutch, and then I have a question for, and then I want to hear from Alice, and I have a question for the panel. Go ahead.
It sounds like you're trying to credit progressives for the idea of like taxing wealthy people more, but it's like welcome to the Democratic Party for the last several decades. True. They already do that. Like blue states tax the highest income bracket at higher levels than red states, but sometimes by considerable margins. Obama raised taxes on wealthy people. Biden raised taxes on wealthy people. Clinton raised taxes on wealthy people, I believe, as well. So that's not really like something that the progressives came up with. They just
the populist rhetoric though, Hutch. The rhetoric. I agree. That's true.
It's true. We're in a bit of a populist moment right now, and
they say it.
And I like Tallarico's form of populism. It's like a lighter form of populism. Sometimes it gets a little cringe for me, but that's fine. I think that's like tactically smart right now because that's what the voters are responding to. Because populism and anger go really well together, and the electorate right now is very, very angry.
I don't like that answer, Hutch. I really don't. Like it's like, yeah.
Well, I want to win. You know what I mean?
If racist rhetoric was effective, would you use it?
racist rhetoric.
Yeah,
well,
let's put it back to be super racist. Would you use that rhetoric?
I mean, I don't probably not. No, I mean, like I don't want the Democratic Party to
the same problem. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Goes to large the same places, right?
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. It seems like an imperfect comparison to like populism versus like racist rhetoric. I mean, I agree with you. It's a sign that things are degenerating in this country. It's not a good sign. But the best things for Democrats to do right now is to win the midterms, take back majorities, win another trifecta, get rid of the filibuster, and then deliver like really good policy like paid family leave and public option, maybe some court reform. That's the path out of this moment that we're in right now.
I'm hoping we get a bit of the Mamdani effect where they come in and then they go way more towards the middle and they move a bit from like the sloppyism and whatnot. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for Platner and I guess Talarico to like an extent. We'll see how that happens. It seems like when people get into Congress, they change quite a bit. So,
yeah, well, I think it's more possible with Talarico than I do with Platner. Alice, you were trying to say something earlier. Go ahead.
So why Graham Platner succeeded in this race thus far is because there was a lack of significant talent to go up against him. After the last Senate race in the seat, Democrats got scared. Lots of big talent didn't want to risk it, which is why Chuck Schumer went and begged Mills to jump in, because there was not seen to be someone who could beat Collins. Jordan Wood ran a weak campaign despite having good ideas. Graham Platner showed up locally because there was no real competition. This is a huge problem generationally, the Democratic Party, as the pipeline of typical young progressives has been subverted by the array of the Young Turks spinoffs into disengagement, where they identify with progressive values but do not volunteer with Democrats, do not become that next generation of operatives. It's a huge drought of operatives. You can go to runforsomething.net if you would like to help rectify this problem.
Okay. I agree. I think that one of the problems we're having right now is long-term versus short-term. Short-term, if we get the seat, let's say it goes as great as the pro-Platner people, or I won't call you pro-Platner, but the blue no matter who people, right? The blue no matter who people say. We win the seat, we get a Senate majority, we're able to do what we need to do. I still think that there is an argument, and one I'm leaning towards right now, that the long-term damage we do to our brand, to the party as a whole, to the rhetoric that is seen as winning, etc., that it just makes the world worse and America worse overall than if we
maybe lose. If he was running for president, but he's going to be one congressman out of over 500. You know what I mean? Like I don't love that Fetterman is the way that he is, but you know he's like a mild distraction at most.
But
you know what I mean? Like,
can I jump off that?
Go ahead, Alice, please.
Oh yeah. So we should treat him like we do Fetterman, where it's one question: should he win the election and be allowed to vote on policies, which we have reasonably good hopes for, even though there's no evidence to back it up. But I'm okay with that.
No,
it's
a separate thing. He's running as a Democrat.
Who
right?
requires we need to positively advocate for him, because the more airtime and spotlight this guy's getting, the more of a fandom he's building and being held up as an icon. That is the cultural harm that is spreading through the internet first and culture downward nationwide, regardless of being limited to one Senate seat. Any defense for this guy, like, that's different. Should he win? Sure, that's up to voters in Maine to decide. We can all just shut up about it, and that'll probably happen.
I kind of feel like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all about him once he becomes the candidate. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah, I think if you're in Maine and you worked for Mills and all of that, I think you should be out there trying as hard as you can to win the seat. Yeah.
If you have anything nice to say about him, you shouldn't say it at all.
I disagree. I think that one of the things that's going to happen is this.
Get a panelist to say it.
Go ahead, PvP. But I have something to say. So go ahead, and then I'll say my thing. Go ahead.
Putin, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to give you a terribly hard time.
Sure.
But I am absolutely not going to vote for Platner or anyone like him. I don't live in Maine. It's not my decision. And I think it is absolutely up to the voters of Maine. Hutch said it earlier, and I said I agreed with it, and I stand by that. But if you gave me a binary between Graham Platner and Susan Collins, not only would I vote for Susan Collins, I would advocate and work for Susan Collins. I am an
independent, by the way.
Nonpartisan
independent.
On the Bernie Sanders campaign
nonpartisan
in 2016, independent. And I can tell you I walked away from that in disgust, because
DNC rigged
the candidate that I thought I was volunteering for was not the candidate I was actually volunteering for.
Wait, what?
But if that helps you understand a little bit, you can get people like me off the bench. You can get them involved in a campaign for a partisan party campaign. You can get us involved, but I'm not going to do it for the wrong candidate, and I am going to fight against you if you put up somebody that I think is disgusting. And I think Graham Platner is disgusting.
Yeah,
because he is a liar.
He
is a liar. I don't know how you trust him on anything, because you're saying, well, he would be better. How would you know he'd be better than anything? Because the one thing you know about him, the only thing you know about him, is that he is a liar.
Well,
the worst thing he could do is go and vote exactly like Susan Collins is probably going to do. And that
he
is
could
as
vote
bad as
way
it would
worse than Susan Collins. Are you listening to yourself?
Oh my God!
If you think a Democratic candidate is going to go in and just completely vote,
you think
100%
somebody who
for
lies
Trump,
compulsively to your face is
Oh,
somebody
he
that
lied.
you should trust?
Oh, he lied one time. Oh, he lied. If he lied, that means every single thing is going to be like, oh, he lied.
Time for all of Trump's things, yes or no?
Gang based.
No. I'll answer.
This is a
your
very
question.
simple question. Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
answer your question, but I want you to answer mine first.
Sure. What's your question?
Do you think you can trust somebody who lies compulsively all the time on what they say they're going to vote for,
all the
versus
time,
somebody you don't always agree with, but who does not lie to you?
Susan Collins lies all the time.
I don't think you can trust anybody completely.
I don't even fair, and I'm going to challenge the comment that she lies constantly, present lies.
Hold on, just real quick. Let Hutch get in here.
There's a difference between being
Hold on.
deceptive
PvP,
or not
PvP,
wanting
please.
to.
We got it.
Fine, and I get that,
please,
right?
Please, buddy.
Okay.
Hutch.
I'm having trouble understanding your concern, because it sounds like your concern is that he'll go in there and maybe vote with the Republicans, and so because that disgusts you so much, you would vote for the Republican. Like, I don't understand what that means. Like,
yeah, it's retarded. This is an independent, by the way.
Of the theory of mind over here, because what I said is that I think he's disgusting because he's a liar. And then you're projecting that onto his voting record, which I said, how do you trust his voting record because you know he's a liar? That's two different...
It's about what we would...
Two different things, Hutch.
It's about what we would reasonably expect. And I think, it's
yeah, but he's a liar. And you're not...
I don't know what that means. Like, is he going to go in there and vote against, vote with Republicans most of the time? Like, what? I don't know what you think the risk is.
What advocacy, what package do you think you're supporting other than generic Democrat, right? If that's part of the conversation we're having about vote blue no matter who, right?
I think he'd probably vote to convict if there was an impeachment trial. I think he would probably vote along with the Democratic Party if they were to pass a bunch of symbolic bills.
It's so cringe.
I think he would vote out there. Let's say Medicare for all actually came up. Do you think that that's something that he would actually support?
Yes. And absolutely, he has a quote out there. It says, "I'm not going to be a pain in everyone's ass," and no offense to the Pennsylvania senator.
Doesn't matter. He's a liar. Watch. Get ready. He's about to counter him. Doesn't matter. He's a liar. He's a liar. Doesn't matter. He's a liar. Watch this. He's about to get owned. Here we go.
Yeah, but he also said he didn't have a Nazi tattoo.
Stop.
So,
Oh my God, Whick.
Sure.
Here he goes. Hold on. Doesn't matter. He's a liar. Doesn't matter. He's a liar.
Hold on, no, stop. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up.
So many things.
One time, Mooton? You think he lied
a
one
ton of times.
time
As long
about
as he...
one thing?
And
if I can flip a coin and 50% of the time he votes Dem, I'm voting him over the Republican every time. It doesn't matter.
Well, there's a big problem to look at. It's not
Susan
that
Collins
he just lies
voted
Dem
50% of the time during the Biden
administration. During Biden, sure. Has she done that during the Trump administration?
Okay, Alice, please.
The point is that she tends to vote at least 50% of the time with the president, regardless of the party.
Not
She's an
Tali.
actual
So
not
Tali.
Regardless of a tendency to lie or flip sometimes, there's also a more concerning pattern where he seems easily naive and duped. On the tattoo, explanations range from the steel man of he didn't really know or care or look into it and just went along with his bros and got a tattoo on his body for years, to he's actively and repeatedly fallen down multiple ideological pipelines and said and done stupid shit for a number of years. This is a guy I do not trust to get into the Senate, where Republicans could try to court him, get him in a closed room meeting, and I think he could easily kind of flip. He only seems to really flip on some stuff. He only got rid of the tattoo when it was public and he was confronted on it and had no other way out. This is like a dude you cannot trust
with a Democrat. You don't have to do that with a Republican. It's already a done deal.
But Susan Collins knows the full set of cards and the full table and still sometimes does not go with the Republicans. She has different stands.
Oh my God.
I 50% of the time under the Biden administration.
No,
and like 35% of the time now.
No, but Tali, he's not. The Democrat is not president right now. It's